GG! The Mouthful Podcast is brought to you by GoodGame.rock, the most welcoming gaming community on Facebook. Visit us at www.goodgame.rocks.
Making pancakes. Making pancakes.
But you know, poor body.
Making pancakes. Making pancakes.
No, what? I don't see lines. I don't see. Are we recording?
I believe so. Yeah, we are recording.
Well, let's start the show.
Welcome back, guys. This is Arnaldo, aka Mad Dog, and that is David, aka Dream Twister, and this is the real Dominican Chimichurri Burger. Wait, I'm reading the wrong line here. I'm sorry. This is the real episode 330 of Gigi's. I was gonna say Chimmy again. Gigi's Mouthful Podcast. Wow, let's do that
Our most awkward entry
intro ever,
and we're not
Thanks,
stopping. We're
no.
not stopping.
Oh,
We're
no.
not doing another take.
No. This is in. It's going to go unedited as always. And
Yeah.
and just in case you're wondering, yes, there is the thing called a chimichurri burger, Dominican chimichurri burger, and this guy here brought it up a moment ago, and apparently I can't get it out of my head. So
It's stuck now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. My wife's a big fan of those. I didn't remember them being a burger though. I thought they were like a wrap, but I don't know. You guys.
Well, this
know.
one here is my Dominican kitchen. So I don't know what the hell that is.
Okay.
The Chimmy spot. So which is here in Orlando. Is that her spot? Is that her spot of choice?
No, there was one in.
Jimmy King?
I want to say Jimmy King. There you go. That's the one.
Chimmy
Yeah.
King. Okay. Oh,
Jimmy
you can reserve
King.
tables. All right.
Really?
Yeah, apparently that's
Oh, they
they're
have,
moving on up, huh?
I guess so. Hold on. let me search it on Open Table and
Yeah.
make sure they have something available for October 13.
That's
Just to
great.
make sure.
Oh, they also have food trucks, which is pretty good. Okay. All right. Look at
Yeah,
that.
they have.
Look
Yeah,
at
they
that.
have food trucks. Man, I that's what I want to do. Actually,
A
I
food
want to
truck?
do a food truck raid somewhere. And I know there are places. I know the places you can go there. They're always available. You don't have
Yeah.
to wait for like a special occasion or anything. We just have to
Oh,
search
okay.
for them.
I gotcha. Looks pretty good, sir. I think I'm down. I am definitely down with some Chimmy King.
Jimmy King's,
Into the
yes.
future. Into the future.
I tried. They're all right. You know, they're. It's not my plate of choice, but my wife's been asking for it to be baked because it's far of the place, or not far, you know. But it's like South Orlando, and
well, okay,
I'm
there you
in Sanford, so
Yeah.
that's a trek. That's a
Just for a sandwich, huh?
for a sandwich. Exactly. So there's gotta be
Sometimes
something
those are
else.
worth it, man. Sometimes those are worth it. I've gone out of my way just to get a bowl of ramen from Jinya.
Yes, you
know what I
have.
mean? And
Yes, you have.
it's worth
But
it. In the end, it's
You
worth
have
it.
do you have a refined palate for that kind of things? Like I have to go, like there's a mission already. Like if I'm around the area, or if we're out and about and we decide to crash somewhere, and just have food, like that seems like a nice spot, you know, like a nice place.
Yeah.
That's
Perfect.
what I'm thinking.
Perfect late night hanging out, maybe a couple drinks in, eating
Yes.
something a little greasy with bread and
Yes.
sauce of some
Oh,
sort.
fuck it. Let's stop the podcast and let's go out.
I am like super full, bro. I just had some decadent roasted pork belly from this little Asian spot that we order from in not Grubhub. Man, fuck Grubhub, dude. I am done with Grubhub.
Fuck Grubhub.
Fuck
Like
Grubhub.
watch out the words that are coming out of your mouth, son.
Dude,
Like,
this has happened more
I'm
than
more of a
once. That's the only
DoorDash guy,
reason.
but-
Okay. Well, I use DoorDash. That's what I'm doing now, and the occasional Uber Eats, because Uber Eats is expensive, bro. They upcharge the shit out of shit. But
Yeah.
desperation sometimes will lead me to Uber Eats. But anyway, so yeah, man, Grubhub, they the drivers, man, they would pick up the food And I can see them, right? Because you can track them on the fucking app. And there's like, where are they driving to? Because they're not coming here. And it's like time is going past. It's like, it's supposed to come between 8:30 and 8:40. Now it's between 9 and 9:10. Now it's between 9:30 and 9:40. And I'm like,
food is cold already.
exactly. And what apparently it is, it's a thing where, they'll pick up a bunch of stuff and then go delivering all together.
Yep.
DoorDash
will do that too. I hate
well,
that.
that's bullshit.
That is bullshit.
I'm like, I'm sorry that, if that job isn't, whatever. Hey, I hear you, man. Go get something else. But that's
no, but
right
they said it like that. It's not even the driver's fault. It's just the app sets them up to be like, hey, while you're on your way, you might as well do pick up this other or I guess you have to accept it. I don't know.
I was going to say you have to accept it. Yeah. You have to go in and chime on that thing. And then we got our food. It was cold. It was cold, bro. And I was just like, oh hell no, man. And not for nothing. This isn't cheap. You know what I mean? This is not going to ordering fucking fast food. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, fast food's going to let you down in many different ways. It is fast food after all,
and it's still be expensive as
and
well.
Yeah, nowadays, yeah. But this is even more. You know what I mean? This is. I'm trying to remember what it is that we ordered, and I was just so disappointed. And the reason I was using Grubhub was because I became a member, and for the first 6 months, something like that, you get free delivery.
Oh,
so
nice.
I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, we'll do that for
Let's
6 months. A month and a half in, I'm like, nope, done. You can keep your 6 year free, whatever. I uninstalled it. I removed everything from it, and yeah, man.
Make sure you take your credit card out.
I did do that. So, but yeah. Nice. So completely off topic, but fuck Grubhub. Just saying.
Probably had a hashtag fuck Grubhub.
Exactly.
And DoorDash doesn't get any better either, so you can put them together. I
don't know. This one so far I haven't had any issues with DoorDash, but I guess at some point I'm going to run into a problem. The one thing that I ran into here, I was going to blame the restaurant. Turns out it was my dumbass because I ordered something for my wife thinking it was going to be a beef noodle soup, and it literally says beef noodle, no soup. It's just the noodle, the beef, and everything else that goes with no soup. And so I call him because she's like, "Where's the broth?" And I'm like, "Oh," and I get frustrated for me, I get frustrated if somebody messes with my food. But I'm like, "All right, I'll just fucking do something else." But not for my wife, man. She's she's the pickier one of the two of us, and I don't, and she always doesn't eat. You know, it's like I'm always trying to tell her, eat something. Mm-hmm. Stop, denying yourself this. And because she'll just work and she'll be doing everything. Before you know it, she's like, it's been hours. She hasn't had anything yet, and she's ready to pass out. And anyway, so I call ready to yell at them. She's like, no, there's no soup. There's no soup. I'm like, I know there's no soup. That's the problem. And she's like, no, on the menu. And I looked it up, and it literally says right there. And I'm like, ma'am, I am terribly sorry. Thank you. And then just I was like, all right, well, what are you gonna do?
After you're already requested to speak to a supervisor. But I just want to tell you what a fantastic job you guys are doing. Thank you for the food. Yeah. God bless. Good night.
Yeah, exactly. It's embarrassing sometimes.
And see, with DoorDash, if the restaurant misses my order, it's usually very easy to get to go online. You say you're not satisfied, and they'll be like, okay, if they say they missed, I don't know, fucking fries or whatever, they will just discount it and either refund you or there. So
Grubhub did that too, and again, it happened a few times. Like arugas, we order for arugas, and then it would be missing like the pierogies or something like that. And I'm like, oh, and I go in and then just and they'll take it out. We actually got one time where we got an additional thing. Or something different, like an item was not the item we wanted. It was something else. That time we didn't discount it. I was like, well, it's still technically an item. Let's not. So I just left it as a review. Hey, just FYI, I got something I shouldn't have gotten. And they're like, oh, did you want? I was like, no. It's still an item. It still costs you guys something. So it is what it is. But just FYI. But anyway.
That's easy for you because you will eat anything.
Yeah, well, that is true. Yeah. Very little. I
didn't order the gourmet package. I ordered the kids' meal. You got 1-star review on Yelp. because I am that much of an asshole.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Uh,
Anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in and listening to our silliness as we before we get into what we normally get into. But if you haven't already, need you to first go to goodgame.rocks.
More
Join the
silly.
conversation there. Of course, that takes you right to our Facebook group. And please like, subscribe, share the podcast with everyone. What we normally do, guys, first we go into what we have been up to, move on into various news items, and then, of course, we finish with our hot topic of the week. And this week's hot topic, best video game trailers.
Oh,
Yes.
snap.
We're going
It
to
is
go
our
through-
trailers of the week.
yes. We're gonna go through some of the trailer. We won't watch them all. We can kind of talk about them, but those are some of the best trailers that we have seen. Judge them by different categories. Right? I always say that, and I put that in the post that with movie trailers, obviously you want to hook the people, but you don't want to go spoiling the entire movie for them. So that's a solid, a good trailer. With video games, on the other hand, you really do need to show more. You got to show what, if there's a story, you got a little hint of what's going on. Then you got to have a hint as to what kind of gameplay to expect and all that stuff. So judging a game trailer is a little bit different. And so getting to become one of the best ones is not that easy, but we will get to that a little bit later. But let's start, sir, with what we always start with, and that is what we have been up to. Mr. David Santos.
Uh-oh.
What you been up to, sir?
Well, see, it all started this afternoon when I finished working, and I didn't have a good time. So my wife saw myself. I was just sitting here in the corner all by myself, and she just came to me with some special drink of merriment that she prepared. She said,
Nice.
"It's dangerous to go alone. Take this." And I went, and I proceeded to drink it. And holy shit, man, that knocked the fuck out of me.
Wow.
Actually, it didn't know. Obviously, I'm here, but yeah, I felt it. It's been some minutes already, so I'm feeling better. But I was like, oh fuck, this was.
Dear Lord, what
did
she give you?
Put here?
Yeah.
Wrong. This was heavy, and yeah, that set me up. That set my weekend. I was like, okay, this is perfect opening.
Nice.
So God bless my wife. She's awesome.
Nice.
She's watching a movie right now. So if you guys hear like dinosaurs roaring or anything like that,
Oh no, is
you
she
might be
watching the
interested.
new
Of course she
Jurassic Park?
Yeah, of course she is.
Oh,
And we pay, and we have to.
you have to. I know. I was going to say
Oh,
it's not available anywhere.
No, that's okay. That's her entertainment. She enjoys them anyway for what they are.
Fair enough.
They've been worse. They've been worse. What have I been doing this week? Actually, not super much in the way of gaming. I've told you I'll be more active lately, so I'm going to the gym now. I'm back. I'm back, baby. And that's obviously taking some time from gaming. I'm trying to go at least 3 times a week. But that doesn't mean that I don't dabble. Obviously, I played. I went back to a few things actually.
Oh, we're re-returning. Okay.
Yes. So, Tales of Arise.
Oh snap! That joint, that classic,
that
Super
classic
J RPG. Yeah.
Yes. That super Weeble Mega anime RPG that it just makes me it just reminded me of why I stopped playing the goddamn thing in the first place. It's too much. I don't know. I feel like it always happens, right? We say, oh man, I'm jonesing for some good JRPGs, But what are JRPGs now? You know, outside of the mainstream Final Fantasy of the world, right? It's mostly gonna be like anime nonsense bullshit that is just not gonna make sense, but it's gonna act as if it was making total sense, you know. And you kind of have to go with the story and decide if the story is for you or not. And I picked up where I left off, and it was surprisingly easy to go back into and to get in the swing of things with the
It
gameplay.
definitely gives you. I mean, how do I say it? If I recall correctly,
Uh,
the controls and everything are pretty,
they're
easy to pick up and
pretty
play.
intuitive. Yeah, they are easy. There's some strange choices on like going to menus. Like whenever I have to like heal myself if I don't get healed automatically, uh, I have to kind of pause the game, which kind of feels weird. You know, I don't know about that. Like most JRPGs nowadays, you know, they feel the need to get flashy and complex to compete. Um, they don't have the most ideal menus, I guess, or navigation overall. I remember playing Final Fantasy 15 where it never felt like I was in control of anything that I was doing except for, oh shit, this person is healing. I need to press the trigger to pause the action because of course that makes sense, and select from, you know, and navigate to the part of the menu where I have the potions and then jump right back into the action. And if I don't know, it felt it was a little weird. Uh, this one it was kind of felt the same way. So like I didn't last a day playing. I just played for one
Wow.
night.
Okay.
Decided to
Yeah.
like, no, I'm not. I'm this. I don't think I'm going back to Tales of Arise, unfortunately. Not that it's a bad game or anything like that, mind you. Uh, it's if you need to be in the right mindset to want to have that JRPG-ness.
I
And I
must have
thought
been
I
in
was
like the perfect one because I went through it all, and it's like
went
it's
through
like
it
a
all,
good
yeah.
40-50 hour long game.
Yeah, exactly. Which in our in JRPG
It's
territory
short.
it's not that long. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's like half of the usual, you know. Uh, and I got past the third world or the ice world, whatever, you know.
Right. Right. Okay.
And I just didn't care to explore any further. I was like, I'm not having fun. So let me try something very very different. And I realized that I had a game that I bought on a Steam sale that I never played, which was BattleTech. And BattleTech for I guess for PC people in this case, I don't think I think Mech Assault came on on the OG Xbox, but BattleTech in general, it's a cool it's a very cool property that I wish they will make more games out, and I wish they will bring it to consoles because that way it'll have a little bit more appeal. Because how cool it will be, at least in my opinion, I'm not sure if you share this, but navigating a mech, you know, a bipedal tank, basically, it's a really cool thing, you know.
Mhm.
And managing, for example, your firepower against, you don't want to overheat, so you got to make sure that you have proper heat sinks installed, but you don't want to have too many heat sinks because then of course you won't have that many weapons, and you kind of have to like manage that, and you pick a mech type for the different types of missions that you will have, and you have that 3D cockpit view of it, and it feels like a badass. I love mech games.
I
So
want to like mech games. I've tried probably less than a handful in my lifetime. And maybe I'm just not getting the right ones, but I agree the concept, right? The
mhm.
concept of basically it almost, to me, it was almost Voltron like. You know what I mean? When I was young, it's like, oh,
Yes.
you get to control this big machine that basically kicks ass all over the place. And this is just smaller versions of it, but still have that feeling of it, because what you're
Yeah.
doing, right? The Voltron, the pilots are piloting that shit. Well, you're piloting a tank. Anyway, I always
They
felt like,
move slow also, which is it's kind of nice because again, it's methodical. It's not
Mhm.
you're not like a super quick, transformer or anything like that. You're moving slow and like a tank and taking hits like if you were on a bipedal battleship. I don't know how to describe it. But you don't have to worry about it because that's not this type of game. That's not
Oh,
what this game is.
well,
So you might actually enjoy this one a little bit, though. I don't know. I don't see you playing something like this because this is actually Battletech XCOM, and
oh,
he
okay.
plays it. So he plays it. It's a strategy game, kind of in the vein of what an XCOM will be, but with mechs. Which is actually pretty cool. In the description itself, it's actually pretty good. The game is I'm trying to remember who was the actual the developers. Hairbrained Games, published by Paradox Interactive.
Brain schemes. Yeah, okay, I got you.
The makers of you remember playing Shadowrun?
Yes.
You played Shadowrun,
I
so
did.
yeah, it's same people. So
Okay.
you know what type of game is basically. You play
Gotcha.
Shadowrun, you have an
Is it-
idea of it. Imagine that game, but with mechs, and a surprisingly cool story. It's like it starts. It set first of all. So it sets your character in a very interesting way. Like it lets you be instead of having a character design. Like I guess it does have that, but the focus more is on your backstory. So it almost kind of lets you select your origin, like where you came from, like who was your family, like where and all those things. Depending on your choice, it'll give you a particular type of trait or skill,
Mhm.
or +1 to a particular skill, rather, I should say. And you can either min max and know exactly what you want to be, regardless of your outcome, or you can just make, oh, this sounds cool. Like I could be from like a noble house, and my family was betrayed, or I can come from like the Commerce Guild, or I could be a mercenary, or whatever. It doesn't matter, because once you establish who you are, the game acknowledges that in certain aspects, which I thought it was pretty cool. But the story will play mostly the same, and you're basically taking command of a mercenary outfit after the ensuing incident. What is it called? The
The ensuing the inciting incident.
The inciting incident, that happens, and obviously there's gonna be betrayals and heartbrokenness, and now you have to come up from the ground and bring your family mech, which is a legacy that you've had, and of course that's not the only mech that you're limited to, but that's your starter mech is basically your family mech,
Oh.
Yeah, because this takes place in the far future, 20. I think they described the year like 20. I don't know if the 2025 something or the year 3000, or I don't remember those aspects, but it's not because of any lack of interest, because I thought the story, the setup was really cool. The game being a harebrained game, or harebrained games design, you could tell that it has it like it has it where you want it to have, but it's kind of low budgety a little bit, so you're not gonna see like super high tech, graphics here, or the most incredible CG, storytelling or anything like that. It's going to look very simplistic. It's mostly going to be still images in some locations, but they're going to do a decent enough job of giving you a story and making you be interested on it, which is fine. 'Cause that's what StarCraft did, back in the day. So it's kind of cool. Also, again, I need to remind it they're mechs, so it looks awesome in itself.
Checking out some gameplay here. Okay, let's see.
Yeah. What doesn't look particularly awesome, however, is that although I haven't experienced any bugs or anything like that, there is some inherent jankiness that I wish wasn't there or would have been addressed a little bit. Like I don't like the fact that these are nitpicky things on it. To be fair, it doesn't necessarily affect gameplay. It mostly affects presentation in my eyes. But like if you move has to do with going on the area that another mech might be blocking. You might see them kind of like clipping each other rather than having proper collision detection.
Proper collision.
Yeah, so they clip and in some areas are a little bit difficult to tell exactly if you're positioning yourself ideally to be able to tackle the enemies because it's turn-based, and what I was noticing, what I was playing is that sometimes I will set my mechs in an area that I think will be like ideal for the attacks, just to find out that like I set my mech backwards with its back to the enemy, or maybe or maybe because I couldn't tell, or maybe my shots are too short, like they don't reach where they're at, or silly stuff like that. I only played very little. I probably put like 3 or 4 hours, and you can imagine one of them was trying to decide my origin story.
Oh my god!
But I had a good, it was fun. I do like it didn't stick at the moment, but I was glad that I played it because I bought this game like I think in 2019 maybe, and
it shows here release.
I hadn't even installed it or anything. And I was curious. I think I grabbed it on a sale, and I was like, okay, yeah, actually this works. This is fun, and the story seems to be engaging enough. It's just I kind of wish the game would have been a little bit like a little bit more loving into like the creation of it. It looks and plays like an older title, like an older title. I don't know.
I mean, I would almost argue that's kind of how Shadowrun was. You know what I mean? I mean, I only played the one Shadowrun, and it was a little, I don't want to say dated, but
I think that's the best way to describe it. Because it's not that it looks bad. It's just it doesn't look like a game from this, from the era. And granted, we know looks aren't everything, right? It's also on the gameplay, but you're gonna be spending time, looking at this and immersing yourself in the world. You kind of, you kind of hope that it also brings it in that department. Although I wouldn't like knock the game out for just the looks, and just like this one, I wouldn't necessarily knock it. Like I'm not saying, I didn't like the fact, I don't like the game because I don't like the way it looks. Like I'm not saying that. Like I'm saying that I like the game in spite of that. So, it does have the markings of a decent one of those. Turn-based, managing your weapons, basically your design, because you can customize your mechs. There's a lot of customization of it. Also, does the thing that I like that a lot of PC games, or not a lot of PC games, but some PC games, some games that you could tell that, oh, this is designed for fucking keyboard and mouse, that they do, which is if there's a if there's a dialogue going on and it throws a term there that you don't understand what that is, or you don't know, or a noun that you don't know what it is, you hover over it and you can a smaller window comes up kind of with an explanation, so so you'll know like the definition basically, because they like to use a lot of terms that I'm sure they have been part of the Battletech mythos, but I don't play Battletech. I know it started as a tabletop game.
Oh, okay.
So that's basically what this tries to mimic.
The tabletop experience. Gotcha. That makes sense.
Right. Yeah. This game's hard. Yeah, Shadowrun was the same thing. It was a tabletop game.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. They fit right in. So when you said Shadowrun, I was like, oh, I know what game we're going for.
It's funny because you look at the developers, and you could tell these guys are like above our age, and we're up there already.
There we go.
So these guys are just living their dreams, their passion. Like they were probably playing these games like the 70s would have been like their teenage years, maybe. If I have to guess, maybe 80s, who knows? But they're making the games that they love playing, and they come through. Battletech, really nice. I'm not ready to score it yet. I think it'd be too early with just a few hours put into it. But I do recommend it. Getting it, maybe get it on a sale if you're curious. If you want to, because the game goes for $39.99 right now, and that's not to say, oh, it's not worth that or anything like that. I'm just saying, hey, came in 2018, you're going to see a lot of sales for this game come through. I think I picked it up for like $10 if I had to guess.
That's not bad.
No, not at all. And then I return to the world of Elden Ring. Because of course. And I play a little bit more. And I'm still loving that game, but I'm not gonna say anything else about it because we're already overspoken about Elden Ring. Needless to say, a third playthrough in the same year is a little bit harder to justify.
It's a lot.
A third one,
it's not a small game either.
It's not a small game. Exactly. But a second by all fucking me. I think the first time I won't say the second time I had more fun because that's not true. The first time I obviously had the most fun because it was with you guys and we were all in it and we were like talking, and that was like an experience of a lifetime. The second time it was more of I'm playing this single player game as a single player. and I'm just going through and I don't want to think too much. So I'm going to overpower myself, and that's what I did. This third one is kind of like an experimental. Let's just fool around. And it's working in some cases, but in some other, it's kicking my ass. So that's why it feels heavy. Second time didn't feel heavy because I was destroying everything. Third time, it's like okay, I think I'm done here. I'm gonna stop and pick up another game, and I'll come back. Elden Ring, you'll still be installed. Don't worry. You are in on my fastest hard drive. And then I return to a little game.
Oh.
You're not expecting. You probably expected.
Sifu. Yes. You've become the master. Show enough. Oh,
sadly, it's not Sifu. Well, don't worry. It won't disappoint you to know that I return to Returnal. because of course.
You keep saying return a little too often there. I was like,
Exactly. I was expecting, like, at this point, it's like, come on, guy. Like,
yeah.
I think you've gotten by now.
Got it. Yeah.
By that time, when did you realize?
Like the very last time you said, well, I return.
Oh,
And
okay.
he stopped, and I was like, oh, he's returnal. That's why I said it with you. I said a returnal. Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
I'll play Returnal, bro.
PC or back on PlayStation? Wait,
No, it's
out
on PlayStation.
right?
It's not on PC. It's not on PC. It's funny that you ask. It's like, oh, it must be on PC then, because
that's the only reason why he would return, I assume.
I know. I wish the game was on PC, but you know what? At the same time, I'm just realizing this game looks too fucking good to care about that. It looks so nice already, and it plays so well. PlayStation 5. And I'm willing to admit this is a game that I was having a good time playing it through. And I got a little beat up with the I died. I lost all my progress. I need to go back. And I know, there's some progress that you keep and yada yada, but in reality, it still stings. Even though that's what this type of game it is. It's a roguelite, whatever you want to call it. It's one of those. So you gotta be accepting of those. And when I was playing it originally, I think this must have been like the only roguelike that I've given it like serious thought. Before that, I was like, this genre is not for me. I don't care about playing these things and yada yada. Having given other chance to other type of roguelikes that are that have been phenomenal, like Hades, for example. It's a great one. That's the one that I would like to go back. I just can't believe I didn't even remember that one's there.
I bought that shit twice. How about that?
Yes, you did. Yeah. How about you beat it, fucker?
I know. I really should. You know what it is? It's I saw what I saw what it's gonna take. Like, and you know what? Credit to Chaos. He beat it. He beat the game.
Yeah.
And
Chaos is Chaos.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Chaos incarnate. But no, he beat it, and I just kind of saw what it takes, and I know it can get you. It can eventually get there. But I think what happened is, even though I still have it on the Switch, and I can probably just go back to the Switch version. But the fact is that I had to redo all the progress, and it was probably a good 40 some odd runs in by the time I started all over again. I was like,
yeah.
And that's the same thing I feel about going back to Elden Ring. It's like, do I really want to go through all that again? You know what I mean? And, I mean, it was fun. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't know if I would see it through. And that would kind of, so. And this is a perfect example. This game is overall, Hades is probably not even as long as Elden Ring, and just the fact that I had to redo it from the beginning already had me like, never mind.
Even though you have a perfectly copy that runs, normal. There's no issues whatsoever on the Switch, but you're like, I don't want to touch a Switch. Fuck that,
dude. Yeah. Unfortunately, sorry, Nintendo.
Sorry, Nintendo. I know. I have Bayonetta 3 pre-order since the day the words were spoken, by someone. That was back in the day when Amazon still gave you a $20 credit every time you pre-order a game with them, because they were dying to do one over GameStop, and I have it with a credit on $20 and everything, and it's been there. And now that it's coming out, I'm like, I think I'm gonna have to cancel this pre-order, because I returned my Switch basically. I gotta refund it. Oh, by the way, side note, completely on news for those who are curious, because remember how I mentioned that I returned an open game to Amazon, expecting like whatever amount, and I think I was like, they'll probably give me $0 for it, but at least I'll be paid with the knowledge of what happens because nobody could tell you.
Yeah.
Nobody could tell you. I searched that shit and yes, the Amazon thing, the terms of returning open software, like it tells you that they could charge you up to 100% restocking fee. Again, 100% restocking fee is you get $0. So
Mhm.
I was still curious, and I was like, I'm not gonna play this game, and none of my friends that have Switch are gonna care about it. I think it was like Xenogears 3. I would, offering it to you, you would be like, no, dude.
I feel so bad sometimes
Okay.
because it's like it's a free game. Why? But at the same time, I'm like,
What is
it will still be wasted here.
This
You
is
know
the
what I mean?
most anime shit ever.
Yeah,
You're not gonna take. You're not gonna. And also, I got jillion hours, so
Yeah.
you're not gonna. So I knew better. So for science, I did the return open, expecting nothing, and they didn't give me full price for it, but they gave me half of my money actually because
There
I
you
was
go.
surprised.
There you
Because
go.
they don't even have it on the it's that game's so recent that they don't have it on the trading. So Amazon does also accept tradings, but certain games and their values are not super great. Although every now and then you might find like, oh shit, they're giving me fucking more than what I paid for when I bought it. Yes, I think a couple of times that happened. But for the most part, they barely give you anything for it, kind of like GameStop. So I was surprised that they gave me, 30, yeah, 30. It would have been $30 plus the tax,
Yeah, that's
whatever.
not bad. That's not
I was
bad
like,
at all.
okay, yeah, I'll fucking take it, of course. Why not? And of course, full refund for the Switch because I was still within I returned it at the 30th date after I beaten Metroid Dread exactly like it happened years and years ago, 21 years ago, or however long has been since the GameCube. And I played Metroid Prime, and then I returned Metroid Prime and the GameCube to GameStop, and I got money back. Anyway, I was talking about Returnal, actually.
Returnal, yeah.
Believe it or not.
that says a lot though.
I know the tangents that this goes. This is how we make it an hour.
Yeah. No,
For
I was
just
gonna
my
say that
part.
says a lot about Returnal, not you, bro. It says a lot about
Oh,
Returnal. Like
no, actually,
you're like, no, you really want to talk about that?
I don't want to talk about Returnal. Who gives a shit? No, actually, no. I'm actually. Here's something that I will say. I think, and this is no joke or exaggeration, but Returnal to me might be one of the most perfect games that Sony has made or published or what or whatever they did. And
Well,
I
it's a
mean
first
it.
party now, so yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a third party now, so there you go. And I mean it. I don't think the perfect game necessarily means this is the best game.
Mhm.
I don't think that they're synonyms. Like you could have a game that is like perfect like it executes perfectly, but it's still like you still wouldn't consider like, oh, this is my favorite game or anything like that. And there's
Mhm.
been a lot of those. I mean, Red Dead Redemption 2 to me is that game is like next to the most amazing thing that I've probably seen gaming wise, and that game was released forever ago, and
Yeah.
I still wouldn't play it.
Yeah.
But I realize that game's probably at 10, if not an 11. But be that as it may, with Returnal, what I mean is like the execution of it. I can't think of any particular flaws. I can think of things that I'm not fond of, but those are personal. Those are it's my thing or my problem with the genre or
The
whatever.
genre. Mm-hmm.
As far as the game itself trying to do what it sets up to do, it's fucking masterful, and I realized that when I was curious about, I haven't played this game forever. I wonder how I will do. And I grabbed it, not remembering a lot of things, and I had a really good playthrough. Like I had a really good run. Like I knew I was gonna die, in some point, but I actually ended up getting pretty. Oh, and I wasn't like skipping towards the latest. You know how you sometimes already open a shortcut and you can just skip to.
Yeah. You can get through the first. The first area fairly quickly once you already know where to go, and then
Right.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't remember anything, so I'm just gonna play as if I'm gonna try not to take any shortcuts or anything like that. And yeah, it held on. Everything was exactly as like it came very natural. Even though there's a lot of things that I didn't like remembered. Like the fact that hey, I don't necessarily need to be pulling the trigger all the time. I mean, some weapons I might, but for the most part, I can just leave the trigger button pressed, which it's better to do because then that way you don't accidentally mess up the active reload that the game has.
Yeah.
And there's a few things that I was surprised that I didn't see the first, the first time or the last time that I have played it, that they have added to the game. I mean, co-op is there. We know that.
No, bro. I know. I wanted to go back with you, man, and you're actually playing this now, coño.
Let me see how far I get through and depend. Like let me do my thing and then I'll before I commit to doing co-op. But it looks good. It looks well explained within the lore of the game. Like it's not just a weird menu that they throw.
Like some weird option. It's actually story related. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's not trying to fucking from software or the shit out of with some weird ass thing that you have to do to play with your buddy, or at least it doesn't look like that's the way. It looks like it's as simple as, oh, approach this thing in this area, and it'll let you summon your buddy, and it looks easy. It looks like it's easy. Yeah, we have yet to test that, but it didn't look like some that you had to do some like random bullshit and have, another aspect that I saw that I thought was really cool was the fact that, and I don't remember seeing this before. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember seeing this, where every now and then you'll find like bodies, laying about, but I don't mean the bodies that you're meant to find throughout the game that lets you, that it's like your memory or something like that. Yeah. I mean like ones that are, well, they're just as interactive, like you have to scan them and all, but in reality, those are the bodies of. And I mean, that's basically your body because you're the only person that's on the planet.
Your attempts, yeah.
But it was, but it was. It's actually another player. It's actually another player, and it shows you a little bit of how they died. I
don't recall that being.
That's new. That's new. It shows you a little bit of how they died.
Wait! I take that back. I think I do recall because, and then it's almost like a hologram, and then when it dies and lies right in the spot where the body is.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. They did have that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't remember seeing it because I will scan it, and a few things could happen. I could suddenly spawn like an elite somewhere in the area, and if I kill the elite, it'll be kind of like avenging this person's death, and it'll give me something. Like I didn't see exactly what was it that it was awarding me, but in another take, the actual body kind of like just rised up from the dead and started attacking me. And I was like, "Oh shit!" And
it's a powerful. From what I remember, it's a powerful one. It's like, whoa, this thing is
yes, it's total asshole. It's like I was trying to,
it's like, damn, man, I was just trying to learn about this. Yeah.
Fuck you! Now I'm gonna riddle you with holes.
Yep. That's funny.
Okay, so that's actually there before. Okay, that's funny. I remember the bodies of yourself that you found
Mhm.
that were just basically audio logs. You know, I remember
I think
those.
further into the game is when it's because it doesn't start off at the because in the beginning, remember it's getting you used to it,
Right.
to the whatever, and after a certain amount of runs at a point, the kid gloves come off, and it's okay. Now you've experienced everything, so now it's time for you to figure this
Yeah.
shit out so you can get out. Yeah.
It does it, and you can tell me this, and if you want, or if you don't want it, that's fine. Does you can you swim at some point, or is that not an option? Because I see stuff that is like laying in the water, but if I throw myself in the water, I die. So
I'm trying to remember if I don't know if I don't think you can swim. You can just handle being in the water.
handle being in the water.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can't. You can't. If I recall correctly, you can't swim. There's no actual swimming animation or anything like that. But you can
Gotcha.
drop into the water, and you'd be like almost like you're a diver, and you're at the bottom of the water, and it's not affecting you.
And it's not
Um,
affecting. Okay,
yeah,
got it.
that's
Got it. Got
that's what ends up happening. Because if I'm not mistaken, one of the biomes is underwater. And
Oh,
so
ooh, it's just interesting. Okay, I can't wait to get to that. Yeah, I'm also starting to notice some details that I didn't notice the first time my first few tries, where like her suit will have like a camera right next to like around her neck that will move depending on the position where you move your joystick. Like that little camera will be like moving kind of like panning. I don't know. It
that's
was
cool.
cool. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
this,
yeah,
this game has some cool little elements here and there.
yeah, man.
And
Credit to the guys. Yeah.
dude, the graphics are really good. I'm not gonna say like, oh my god, it's the best graphics on PlayStation, but I would put them right up there because they run very smoothly. They look very well. It have some really cool effects. And major props to them, to Housemark, because before them, you remember them from having all the shooter, the little shooters that had, that were
Arcade
arcadey, and
shooters. Yep.
yeah, and they have those the spark effects. I forget, that has a name. I forgot what it was, but it's a lot of sparks going everywhere. I forgot what the term is, but they move into this one, and I mean their execution is phenomenal. It feels great. It controls great. I realize I'm giving praise to a game that came out in 2019, maybe, was it 19?
Oh no, it was PlayStation 5, so it had to be 2020.
Oh, 2020. Sorry, right. Duh. Probably 2021 early
Yeah, I
or
was gonna say
something.
maybe
Yeah.
even early
Yeah,
next
yeah,
year.
yeah. I don't know why I say it feels so, but we've spoken about this. It's what I'm trying to say. We've spoken about this. You are more Len, because I kind of fell off of it, and I just picked it back up, and dude, I'm having a blast. I'm still not the type of person that will play it, die, and then immediately go another round. Like if I die on a run that was long enough, I need a break. I need to, okay, let me just do something
I
else,
used to say
maybe,
the
and then
same
I'll
thing, but
die.
I was just like, no,
Yeah.
one more.
I can, because
Yeah.
now I'm thinking, oh, do I have to go through all of this again? And let's face it, some of those runs are gonna be kind of bullshit, because it's just there's a lot of, and it comes with the genre. It's a lot of randomization. So you
Mhm.
either are very lucky, or you're always fucked up when you get the parasites. And
The
and you
parasites, I
have
can
a
tell
bad
you, I
time.
rarely used the parasites. Because I was just like, I'm not giving up something. I'm not, the thing is, and I know you can gain certain things, but I rarely use the parasites if I
I
recall
want to
correctly.
I want to unlock things, so I'm being a little bit more cavalier with the use of them, but I don't go crazy. You're right. If I find good, I have no reason to waste myself on a parasite that could end up fucking me over with something. now you're unable to dash. She's like, well, fuck
Oh
you. I'm
yeah,
gonna
I was
kill
gonna say yeah.
myself.
That's the
You know,
that's the one. Now you can always there's always if I remember, there's ways of removing the parasites.
yeah. It gives you a list of. It gives you something you need to do, and but the problem is sometimes it may be some bullshit thing like, oh, you have to purchase something, and you're nowhere near a store, so you're fucked. So if I see myself like I'm on a good spot, like I'm not gonna risk it. But if I'm already a little fucky anyway, it's like, well, this run is about to end. What's the worst thing that could happen? Like, who cares?
Let's just
And I
speed it
risk it,
up.
and then I get rewarded. I might get some. I went from almost dying to full health just like taking risk. So
Yeah,
and then
that's the beauty of a good roguelike. You know what I mean? It's like when you do take those risks and it pays off, and you're like, oh man, and that's I got that in Hades. You end up picking up a particular thing and then it links up to something, it links up to this other power up. Before you know, you have this nice like weapon that's just fucking handling people, and same thing here when you get the right gun for the right area and you're just like, oh, and you pick up a some sort of power up that just works. It just makes that run so special that you really just don't want to let it go.
Yes. That the thing is with this type of game, like this type of games normally goes against everything that I appreciate from gaming, or the thing that I appreciate from most games that I try to gravitate more towards, which is progression.
Mm-hmm.
I need to have my time have some value. It cannot just be thrown away because I had a bad run. Like there's a reason why I won't play games like Spelunky or the Binding of Isaac or somewhat more hardcore rogue games types. Like I realize the allure and the people that enjoy that, but I don't have time to waste. So when I'm presented with this one, and this one could sometimes feel like you're wasting your time sometimes. But you got to remember that, but you're always powering up your weapons as you use them.
Mm-hmm.
Very fucking slowly, unfortunately. I kind of wish that was a like at least double the way that it is right now, because it feels like the game wants you to to not grind, but like it expects you to put hundreds of hours on it, and I don't want to put hundreds of hours on it.
I don't even think it took me that long. It was probably 30 hours. So 30 some odd. I'm trying to remember. It didn't take that long. It does want you to go back in, and I think that's the important part, because you want to be able to kind of get the lay of the land. Sure, it's all procedurally generated, but for the most part, there's similarities. You know what I mean? So if I go this way, it's going to have most likely there's going to be an enemy over here. You look at a specific room, you kind of already know. Okay, chances are something's going to happen. You just got to get into the basically get used to it. Once you start getting used to it, is where then you throw in your weapons and stuff like that. But that's why I say I jumped back in. I was finding it hard to stop because I was enjoying the gameplay so much. And the runs could be long, but there are ways of shortening it, and because that's the whole deal. You're trying to find the right way to get to the end. And that's as with any roguelike, I guess. But yeah, I think that's why I don't know if it wants you to grind or just wants you to really get the handle of the
lay of the land.
Yeah. And the lay of the land. Yeah. The mechanics and the lay of the land.
Yeah. I was like, because the game, like, I wouldn't call this terrain procedurally generated. It's more like procedurally put together, like pieces procedurally put together, because once you're in the room, you're like, I recognize being in this room. I just don't recognize getting to this room from this other room.
Yeah, exactly. These just weren't connected before. Yeah.
That's kind of weird. Anyway, the game has also like a new section called the Tower of Syphilis.
Syphilis?
That's not the game. That's
Tower
not
of
the name.
Sisyphus?
Something like that. Yeah, the Tower of Syphilis. Let's call it.
It's Syphilis.
So in the Tower of Sisyphus, I don't know. I didn't try it because it just sounds like this is for masochists. This is an endless run. It's like nope. Again, I need to progress. So I didn't even look at it twice, but it was cool to see that they added more content to that game. Also, I want to be from the bottom of my heart. I want to give, and this is without any prejudice. This applies to each and every one. A big fat fuck you to anybody who complained about the fact that that game now has a way to save your. It's not saving your progress. It's more to suspend your game.
Mm-hmm.
To suspend your game. Oh my fucking god! The people that complain about this feature, and it is probably one of the best things that one of the biggest favors they did to this game. It affects the run in absolutely no fucking way whatsoever.
Oh yeah.
Unless you're hacking your shit and
unless you're playing
at the point if you're at the point of like, oh, let me just get back my save from the cloud, it's like, well, that's yours. You're not playing you don't care about it, and that's fine. I'm not gonna tell you how to play the game, so fuck off. You're using Game Genie at this point. Like, who cares? But people cried and complain about a feature that is really this is the quintessential definition of a quality of life improvement. If it's 12 o'clock and I need to go to bed because I wake up early, the next day, and I have a really good run, and I don't want to run the risk of, just leave the PlayStation in sleep mode. Well, motherfucker, isn't that the same thing then? Except
exactly.
It's
exactly. So you're okay with doing that, but you don't.
Exactly.
You're okay with the suspend, yeah.
Yes. Except that with with doing the suspend, you have the wrong. You have the risk of Sony deciding to do a stability update, and there you go. There goes your save game because it closes everything. Like, it doesn't give a fuck. It just closes your game and it runs the update. So in this one, you can just suspend the game, leave with the peace of mind that you're not losing you're not losing your good run. It doesn't let you, like I said, it doesn't let you cheat, except if you go through the whole length of doing the tricks with the save, the cloud saving, and all that garbage. Because it basically it blacks out your screen. It tells you suspend, and then it tells you now, kind of like all Windows 95. Now it's safe to turn off your computer. Now it's safe to leave your game or whatever, and it tells you press the PlayStation button now to exit the game. And then when you come back, it's like, okay, well, press the circle button, leave it pressed. And then it kind of unlocks and it continues. It's fantastic. It's exactly like, remember when we were having this conversation, and it's exactly the way that I described as something they should implement, and they did it to the T, exactly like I described it, and I loved it. I love it. I love that it has that. And it changes absolutely nothing. It's not making the game easy. I never understood why. Anyway, that's Returnal. Return to Returnal. Recent Return to Returnal, and I'll keep playing for as long as I'm entertained. I'm not gonna commit to anything.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, those are the games that I've been playing. But what did I watch? User, you already know what I watched, because I kind of wanted to gouge my eyes so I don't have to watch anything else anymore. But then the thing that stops me is thinking, yes, but I don't want that to be the last thing I remember seeing. So I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the board, members of the academy, members of the judge. In 2016, we have probably like one of the most horrible abominations that came out the motion picture. And we've had a few of those in years before, but this one is remembered because it took a lovable franchise
property, yeah. Mhm.
You know, a decent property, a love property, and it disrespected it to the ground. And not for the reasons that people seem to think.
Yeah, people are going to think that anyway, but yeah.
People are going to think that
What
anyway,
you say,
but
people
whatever.
are gonna think, yeah.
It's not that. I'm talking about, obviously, Ghostbusters 2016, which was a poorly written, poorly acted, poorly everything thing that which I have never seen in retrospect.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go crazy and say the movie that I watched is worse. Than
I was
it is.
gonna say.
Yeah. I'm not gonna go crazy. Yeah, but I feel like the stage needed to be set still, because the movie that I saw might as well be a protracted version of a similar thing. I'm talking about Thor: Love and Thunder, which came out this year. And my dear God, this movie is garbage.
So I want to go on record. So I'm going to talk about it too, because I saw it too. And my seeing it, I believe, led to, because I'm pretty sure that I messaged saying, just inferring how bad the film was, and for some reason, someone still needed to see the car crash. Someone still needed to see the train wreck, the garbage truck on fire. It's one of those things like I need to see it, and
how bad could it be? I mean, this is Thor. I mean, Thor 2 came out, so wow.
And suddenly Thor 2 doesn't look that bad.
No, it totally does not. Yeah. Everybody that was in Thor 2 that now is in Thor this one does look bad though. Well, that's something else. Yeah. No, man. I like, you warned me, like you told me, and I figured, okay, this has not been a good phase for Marvel overall. Phase 4 so far has not been great. Like, I get it. I can even say, hey, there's some movies that I like, but did I like them more than anything that came out beforehand? No. I liked it for being a phase 4 movie, for being a post blip movie, if you will. And I figured this is Thor. This is the next Thor. I recently saw the next Doctor Strange movie, and I didn't think it was half bad. As a matter of fact, that movie surprised me in some of the things it did. But I wouldn't call it like, oh man, this is a great movie, because let's be real, probably. Well, I mean, I like Shang-Chi, to be honest with you, and I kind of like.
I did
Doctor
too, but I mean, it was a solid 3.5.
It
wasn't like it.
Shang-Chi was good. Yeah. It was just a story that's been told already, and the thing of and I am
and CG. In the end, it was a lot of fucking CG. It was like
the and Doctor Strange. I like that superhero in particular, so I'm a little biased, and I kind of like the first Doctor Strange, and and I enjoyed what they did with this one. It was interesting. It was interesting. So I kind of wanted to see what they did with Thor, because I remember, well, Thor Ragnarok was fucking nonsense, but hey, at least it was a lot more fun than Thor, the Dark Elves. So it was kind of like correcting that, and I accepted it for what it was. It was like, I don't know if I like this being, meant to be like, oh, Thor is funny now, but let's face it, Thor right now is fucking Ant-Man. At this point, like, Paul Rudd is more serious than fucking
And that
Chris
says a lot.
Hemsworth. Yeah, and that says a lot. Exactly. Like, you could take an Ant-Man movie more seriously than this. This movie was an entire joke from beginning to the very end, nonstop. And like, I imagine, like, when you watch funny movies that fall for that, well, movies that are intended to be comedic, but the jokes aren't like, you don't appreciate them. You don't. They're landing flat. It doesn't make sense. It's kind of annoying the way it goes. Some things, like, this movie had all of that put together. It wanted so hard to be hilarious that it became irritating and fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Like,
it was just nothing but trying to insert I don't know, jokes. That's all it was. It was all it was.
It's a McCarthy movies levels of bad
my
jokes.
God, just the fact that she was there, I was just like,
she was
oh.
there. Yes.
I was like, oh, okay. Well, now I know the movie we're dealing with. No offense to anybody who likes Melissa McCarthy. Melissa McCarthy actually is a good actress, but I've seen her in stuff that's good. When she was in Mike and Molly, it was a show that my wife and I watched all the time. She was in the comedy show. It's where I believe where she got her start. And since then, she's been in movies that are just god awful.
Yes,
God awful.
yes.
And it's just like,
it's not anything against her. It's just the movie
no,
she's
it's
been
just like,
in,
my God, but she seems tied to them. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't understand. And to be fair, here she has the smallest of roles. It was just ironic that she was there. I was like, oh, of course. The boots. Why don't we do this?
Her appearance might as well be a cameo, basically. On it.
It is just a cameo. It is just
a cameo. So,
again,
it's
just humorous that that
it was part of it.
Yeah, exactly.
It was part
but
of
no,
it.
I agree. It's just, it didn't feel like it felt like a trudge just to even get through. And I was just like, I don't understand. I liked, and I understand that you did not. I did like seeing what's her name as Thor. I like the fact that it wasn't something she just you jumped into and became whatever. Although she still did a lot of weird things. Like, where did she get those? A bit. I guess it must come with the hammer. You know what I mean? But I did like seeing that and understanding where they were going with it. But the execution was not there. And
editing was way too weird, because we don't get a build up towards that moment. It's like, and of course, I mean, obviously everybody knows it's fucking Natalie Portman. What's her name on Dr. I forgot her name.
Let me get the name here.
Yes, the character plays Natalie Portman. She's the Jane Foster, exactly. Jane Foster.
And mind you, to tell you that the comedic moments that did work is Korg, when he kept missaying the name, saying some other shit like that, dude, worked. So I found that funny. Like, because he was saying, Jodie Foster, your girlfriend, is that your girlfriend, Jodie Foster?
Yeah, he did it like 3 times. It's like, okay, that first time was funny. The other 2 times is you're recycling an old joke.
Yeah, well, that's how the callback joke works, and I enjoy those. And for me, that worked. But it also worked because it worked with Korg. Korg is supposed to be the comedic character. Not everybody.
One, right? Not everybody.
Everybody's a comedic character. So who's the straight-laced one here? I don't understand. There has to be some sort of straight-laced one. And the only one was Christian Bale as Gore. You know what I mean? So the villain straight-laced. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like, well, it just... I can't with stuff like this, and it's I honestly would say it's not too far from 2016 Ghostbuster. It may not be as bad, but it's definitely a second. You know what I mean?
It is, yeah. It is. They're neighbors.
Yeah,
What I was gonna say is that I did not. The movie was so weirdly edited that you get no build up whatsoever towards Jane Foster becoming Thor. She's just suddenly from one scene to another, she is literally there. And by the way, it's the exact same scene that you saw in the trailer, so you already got spoiled that if you saw the trailer. So there's no build up whatsoever, no anything. It's very early in the movie, and then the conversation, like I get what they're trying to do with that. Well, we kind of separated, and this is awkward, but every moment between them was so fucking weird and awkward that. And Natalie Portman, she's a great actress. My God, man, she's good. What the fuck happened here with her? Like, she was not in this character at all, except a little bit when we find out her condition. I'm not gonna spoil that, guys, but there's a little. She delivered a little bit on a very particular scene for a little bit. She was Natalie Portman, the actress. For the rest, she was just like phoning in everything, It was not enjoyable as Lady Thor, if you want to call it that. It didn't become enjoyable because she had the stupid thing with trying to come up with her catchphrase or whatever. It was so dumb, and then so many areas where you're like, how so you're telling me that evidently the hammers one of them is an axe, but like they're fucking saying shit now.
Oh my God, that's
like you see them talking to it like if it was like they have feelings and shit. It's like this is the stuff that
we're several movies in. He has never once spoken to his hammer.
Never, because it was a tool. It was a weapon. It was not just like talking to it like if it was a buddy or a girlfriend. Actually, it was so dumb, guys. I don't want to spend too much time on it. If you guys fucking don't watch this, this is so bad that it's not even bad to say. I need to see how bad it is. It's like Mad Dog warned me for a reason. And in retrospect, like which I did, but see, the thing is, if I didn't have watched it, then I wouldn't be able to talk about it here. So let this be your warning. This movie is trash. This movie is possibly one of the worst things that I have that I have seen. Ghostbusters 2016 notwithstanding, that's still the champion. But this was a very close second. This movie gets. Not only does it get a fucking 1 out of a 5-point scale, but it literally manages to rename our 1, which is no longer, what's it called? Really, really bad? Or
I think it's. Let me see. Shit, that's a good question. I think it was really.
It is. I'll tell you right now because I got it right. I got it right. Here we go. It's really awful.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
It manages to rename that. You know what? Henceforth, a 1.0 will be known, thanks to Thor: Love and Thunder, as abysmal. That is what this movie is. Thor: Love and Thunder is the most abysmal thing that has come out of the MCU ever, of all of them.
Oh, yeah.
Of all of them. No, but the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 of all of them.
Yep. I can't disagree. The only thing I would disagree is I still feel since we have to put 2016 Ghostbuster on a list and it still sits less.
Oh, yeah.
I would put that at a 1.0 and I would just leave this one at 1.9, which is awful.
I I would not grace it with a 1.5. That's way too much credit for this. I think I don't think I don't think they're mutually exclusive when one of them needs to be one and the other one is like
True.
I will agree that Ghostbusters 2016 it's literally the bottom of the barrel. Like if we were to award zeros, that will be it. But if we were awarding zeros, I will give this one a 0 as well.
Mhm.
That's how bad it is to me. I enjoyed nothing. I was in my living room watching this movie, and I wanted to walk out. And the only reason I didn't was out of respect of my wife, who did not enjoy it either.
Oh yeah,
She
Joe,
had-
Joe didn't like it either. We were all on the same page with this movie. This is just, even she was like, "What are they doing?" Like literally, is what she was saying. What are they
the
doing?
fuck is
Yeah.
this? And then, and then, like, there was a somewhat cutesy moment, at the end that you wish like there was more of that. If there was more of that, I would have understood a little bit. But of course, for reasons they couldn't have been, there wasn't going to be more of that. But it doesn't matter. Like it would have been. It would have like maybe granted the 0.5, on it. And I hate, and this is just me. This is my opinion. I'm not dragging Mad Dog or GG or anything like that. And also, don't worry, I'm not pretending to offend anyone or anything like that. But the fucking excessive, in your face, progressive wokeness stuff that all Disney movies are trying to do lately the wrong way, because they don't do representation the right way. They always try to they always try to establish, oh well, this is not a, we're not gonna bring a movie about a gay character or a trans character, because we wouldn't dare to put that on the thing. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take an established character and we're gonna actually establish their sexuality or their whatever, because we want to be looked at.
We want to include it, but we're not going to go all in on it.
We're not gonna commit. Exactly. And Disney not only loves to do that, but it gets praised by it instead of being called for, which is disingenuous. And that's how the whole thing. I felt the same way about The Celestials, a movie that we're never gonna watch a sequel on because it's never happening, guys.
Yeah.
That movie's never happened.
The Eternals.
The Eternals. Sorry, I keep calling it The Celestial. The Eternals. Thank you. I think I did that. I did that mistake last time also. The Eternals. Yes, it's another one of those. With the Eternals, most of them were new characters, so at least there is that. But here is like it's blatant, it's overt, and it is not fun. Yeah, I stick to my score.
To 1.0.
I mean, only because we can't give it zeros. Only because we can't give it a 0.
Makes sense. That makes sense. I agree pretty much with everything you said. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't really want to see it, and I just had a feeling, I was like, I don't know, it ended up being my wife's choice. And so we watched it, like, okay, well, in that case, let's put it on. And boy, both of us was like, this is, what the hell are they doing? What I mean? It's like, just what are they doing?
Goat, with the screaming goat. It's like, that's not even funny.
Again,
that
was humorous the first time when they were pulling it out. It's like, okay, so yeah, goats do scream like that, and then they don't stop screaming throughout the film, and then suddenly they're reindeer, basically, just because why not? We have no explanation as to why they're reindeer, why they suddenly could just go to the front of anything and just take off with it like it's like they're fucking Santa Claus.
Like
but,
Santa Claus reindeer.
It makes no sense. But sure, we'll throw that in there as well. And yeah, the narration, it was like they were telling a story. So part of me just goes, is that why? Because we're hearing the story from Korg, and because he's the one narrating, this is what we're seeing. It's like, I guess in some ways that would kind of make sense, but not
No,
movie I wanted to see.
no,
You know?
no,
So,
not at all.
yeah, so
Not
it's
at all.
like,
Also,
yeah,
the Ragnarok has some cool, had a cool soundtrack. I don't understand what was the fucking obsession with Guns N' Roses in this particular movie. It's like the entire soundtrack it's literally the Appetite
Guns N'
for
Roses album, yeah.
Destruction
Mhm.
from Guns N' Roses. That's it. That's all they play. Oh, I'm sorry. And User Illusion Part 1, Part 2. I forgot which one was it. It's basically those. It's they don't play any other music. Every time there's a moment that is meant to be, I don't know, empowering, endearing, whatever it is, they just have to play a Guns N' Roses. If it's taking you to Paradise City, you bet your ass they're gonna play Paradise City. If it's meant to be like, I don't know, at some point they played November Rain,
Yeah.
like the last
Yeah,
portion of
everything.
November
They
Rain.
did
I was like,
all of
this
them,
is the most shoot like shoot in, like fucking forced. Like they didn't have anything else to put. Like there's no stock music that you could have put in here, which would have made this scene a little bit more respectable. Like fucking go to YouTube, to Google, to YouTube. They have fucking stock music that you could get with no copyright or anything like
Mhm.
that. Like
And it
use
probably would have been
that,
better,
you
yeah.
know. And that's not to say the music from Guns N' Roses is bad. It's just that you
No, no.
used it wrong. You used it badly. I'm
Yeah,
done.
I agree. I agree. It was a waste. That's just one of the things I saw, so I guess I can kick that out of the way. Yeah, I agree 100%. Bad all around. Valkyrie's character is completely, I don't know what the hell's going on with her.
I don't know what happened to her.
Gore the
Yeah, she
God
was.
Butcher had an interesting intro, and then I don't know what happened there towards the end. I just
Yes.
all around did not like it. So
Yeah.
I
It was a
you know
joke.
what?
It was
In that case, I'm
too
gonna give it a
comedic.
1.0 too. Fuck it. I'll give it a
Fuck
1.0.
it, you know, fucking, it was
Why not?
fucking a 1.0.
Yeah,
It was just trying to
1.0.
be
Yeah.
too like I understand like Ragnarok has moment because right, they didn't want to create another Thor 2, right? Because that was the criticism of Thor 2. Oh well, it was too serious. Okay, well, Disney does what they always do, which is like fucking overcorrect. Like,
Overcorrect. Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
and but you kind of nailed it a little bit on Ragnarok because it's still, it's still the Norse
Well, you had your
mythology
again
and all
the
that.
difference there is you had your comedic characters and they were separate from your other ones that were not like even Thor himself wasn't as big a bumbling idiot as he was here. He
Yes,
he had
no,
his
he's a
funny moments,
fucking
stuff
moron
like that,
here.
but he had it more. He when it came down to throwing down with his sister, he was throwing down. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He was still being who he needed to be.
yeah.
And here I don't know. I don't
There
know.
was no funny. I
I
mean, not
don't
funny.
know.
There was no interesting fight scenes either. Like I
No,
can't remember
nothing I can
any
remember.
fight
Yeah,
scene.
yeah. Nothing
Any
that
fight.
nothing that stands out at all.
Yeah.
Not even just major scenes. Like a just a
Okay,
memorable
spoiler that.
moment. Yeah, the movie's just a waste, guys. And I tried to protect my bro from watching it, but I,
Oh,
I get it, man. I
we need
get
a
it.
confirmation. This is unbiased confirmation of the fact that we're gonna have to talk
It was
about
one of those
Disney at
things. You're
some
like,
point.
how bad can it really be? And then of course you look at the Rotten Tomatoes. It's a fresh. It's not like the high ones, like 60 something, 67% or something like that. So technically fresh. The audience score is like 77, and you're like, can it really be that bad?
I think
Like yes,
I
because the
lost hope in
audience.
humanity if they think this is actually a good movie. It's like, what is a bad movie to you then? Like, audience, not that
Oh,
I'm faced by the popular vote most of the time, but like the so-called critics is like, what were the redeeming values that you saw on this? Like, please tell me because I
I mean,
don't,
people
I don't know.
find. I mean, the main consensus is for those who liked it is that they enjoyed the humor. They enjoyed the wackiness of it, and then those who didn't like it, when you look at the reviews or some of them,
They
they're
didn't
kind of
enjoy the
fall in line with
humor.
you and me, where it's like, okay, now it's just getting silly. It's silly to the point it's like this movie almost has no purpose. You know what
Right.
I mean? It's like yeah, it's just as
It
bad as
advances it
as
advances nothing because even this this fucking sting, the quote unquote stinger at the end, like what the literal
I already forgot it. I
fuck
didn't even
was
know idea what
that?
the hell was. Yeah.
When they fucking, I'm just gonna say because he doesn't matter because he
Yeah.
doesn't come like with any fucking Hercules. The unveiling of Hercules, you know,
Oh,
the
right.
you know
Okay. Yeah.
the Susan Hercules, and it's just this fucking random dude. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Like, what is this? How is this gonna play in any way on any other? Like, what did you do?
Now
What
they're
was
just
it?
adding to add. You know, we have to have something there. What do we got? What do we got? What are we playing with? You know, and they just slap something together, and then suddenly you have yourself your stinger. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
You know what? That might at some point that might need to be like a topic in itself of because there's some stingers that have paid off, but there's some stingers that have happened at the end of Marvel movies where we've been like, okay, what was the
yeah,
point
like
of
the
that?
one with the last one with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, where the
Yes,
stinger at the end was like, why? Why is this here? Why
but
is this here?
that might be like I've heard some things, and that
I'm
might
talking
be
about the
setting
second stinger,
something.
or maybe it was the first stinger. The one with the dude slapping himself, and it's just like, come
Oh no,
on, guys.
that
What the
shit is dumb.
hell?
That shit is just that shit is stupid. Yeah. But I remember thinking for like even
But even the other one, it just left you like, what? Because it literally took place like right after he was just yelling like a madman because of the eyeball popping in his head.
yeah,
And then suddenly, oh, he's walking down the same street, still
yeah,
whatever. And then he gets called. It's like, now he has the eyeball and he's cool with it. It's like, well, wait, what the
yes.
hell happened? How much time has passed? You know what I mean? It's like,
That's the thing. We're talking about that's the thing, guys.
yeah, exactly. Anyway. So yeah, Love and Thunder, garbage. The only other thing I saw or were watching at this point, this is actually my wife's choice. Believe it or not. It is, you're going to laugh at this one. It is called Vinland Saga, and it is a Japanese anime.
What? Sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to stop running psychological experiments on your wife. That's not cool.
You're absolutely right.
Also, I
That's
think the UN has some sanctions against those kind of things. I'm gonna need to stop doing that because she's playing games, she's watching anime. Like,
Hey, it's
I don't know what kind of
it's
weird
a thing.
transformation you're doing there, sir, but it doesn't. I don't want to lose the Joe that I know.
It's so she actually got this as a suggestion for somebody at her job. She took a bunch of different series as suggestions, and this was one of them. I remember looking it up when she gave it to me. I was like, "Honey, this is a Japanese anime. You sure about that?" She goes, "Yeah." The guy from from the work, he was like, "Yeah, this you probably like it." And so, all right, well, we added to the list. Never thinking we're ever going to actually watch it. But we came around, and a lot of the stuff she has, I think, is not like caught up yet. So rather than do it halfway, we just let them all air and then just burn through them. But this is basically the story of a kid. His father was part of like these Viking groups, like these like major Viking groups, and then one day he decides to just run off, fakes his death, and then goes to live in a peaceful village and help build this village and all this stuff. And he has his kids and all that. And then eventually he gets found by the same Vikings. They come out and say, you got to come back. And if you don't come back, this nice little village you have here, we're going to have our way with it. Yeah.
This is when he grows up, when he grows older.
He's
You mean?
he's still like ridiculously strong, bro. It's like it's almost like, whoa, how in the hell? But he's just that good. He was just that good of a warrior. And anyway, the story actually circles around his son, his son's name is called Thor Finn, like Thor, Finn,
Thor?
Fin, and
Orphan.
yeah, it appears to be like he's going to end up being sort of raised by the guys who took out their father. And I'm not sure where the story is going to go from here, but it's first off, it's a very well done anime. It's a solid season. It's only like 25 episodes, and that's it. It's just just like your typical
How long
anime.
are the
like half an 20, 23 minutes, 25 minutes.
Okay.
Typical episode of an anime.
Right.
But the animation is really, really good, and the story and we're watching it in Japanese, subtitles with Japanese, and it's a little funny hearing Vikings speak Japanese,
Japanese, exactly.
and they're all blonde. Like okay, I guess that's the thing. But it's actually pretty cool, and she's kind of into it too. It's like the story is kind of fascinating.
That sounds like a random pickup from like Crunchyroll.
It's strange, bro.
Someone's Crunchyroll there at work.
Yeah, and the person I guess was like they like this type of anime that basically has good story, basically like a good good action and good story, and so far it does, man. I think we're like episode 5 or 6 or something like that into it, or maybe 7. Again, they're easily digestible because they're only half an hour or 25 minutes, and but it's graphic. It does have cutting limbs off and stuff like that, and as you would have in any type of situation with Vikings and all that. But it's pretty cool overall. Pretty cool. Don't really have much to say on it because we're only a little bit in, so I'm not sure where the story's going. Time seems to be jumping though, you know what I mean? So it looks like it almost reminds me of the story from the movie we saw called The Northman, which I love seeing.
The Northman, yeah.
And it almost reminds me of that. That's another story where he in this case he was a king. He got betrayed, and then the kid goes off on the run and grows up becoming a sort of a Viking, and it pillaging villages and stuff like that, and then eventually comes back to try to enact revenge. Here, that's exactly what happened with the kid, where he's starting to become almost like the people that took off his father, because he has no choice but to stay with them, because if he doesn't, he's gonna fucking die of starvation. You know what I mean? So, and at some point he just joins in, and it's interesting. It's like, whoa, it's almost like what do you call that? Stockholm syndrome type of scenario. But anyway, it's called Vinland Saga.
That might be what your wife is feeling right now with watching
fucking
anime.
You know what I mean? I keep going. Do you want to keep going? You want to keep going? Okay, yeah, we can go on.
If anything, she's got. Hey, I got the next one lined up for you guys. You guys are gonna enjoy. It's called The Hentai Prince and the Stony Cat.
Oh my god! Nope.
It's great. It's great.
I don't believe you, sir. Not even a little. Not
You
even
won't
at all.
believe me. I'm.
I think you showed me the trailer one, and I was just like, "Oh,
I don't know. I don't think, because I don't remember seeing the trailer. But I'll tell you this: when I say I'm not being ironic when I say I enjoyed it. So what does that say about me? I'll leave it up to you guys' judgment. I don't care, but I'm gonna tell you like it is, and what it is was that I started watching this kind of semi-ironically a little bit, but I got engrossed and I liked it. But that's my secret. That's my not so secret shame. Do with that as you will. Because I know Chaos is gonna fucking destroy me once.
Yeah,
but
I can't wait to hear about this.
But who knows? I mean, I'm just saying, don't knock until you try it.
I mean, yeah, you never know. He'll probably go, yeah, I saw that. It was pretty good. Yeah, I'm looking at this animation, bro, and I'm like, no, bro.
Contrary to you pulled it off. Yeah. See, you got curious.
I did. I'm on YouTube. I just like, I don't know if I have to do safe search.
No.
Let me just
contrary to the title being very obvious, it is not. It is not hentai. Because hentai has a meaning, right? It's hentai is what? It's
I think it's animated porn.
No. That's not what I mean. Yes, there is a genre that's called that, but the word itself.
It doesn't actually mean that. I don't know. I don't know what
it means something. It's not the name of the. Well, it's also the name of the genre, but it's not.
Is, yeah.
But yeah, no. Enough of that. It's
definition.
It's
a genre. It says definitions here. What does hentai mean? Japanese means transformation. There you go. Transfer
Japanese. Oh, that's well.
That's what it says. Yeah, I don't know how true it is, but I don't want to search anymore. I feel like my computer's gonna be like, "What are you looking for exactly, bro?"
Your was gonna be like, you're like,
Yeah.
honey, you're watching The Village. Shut up.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Anyway, that's all I've watched. What I have been playing, I'm only playing one thing, so obviously I'm just gonna take a deep dive into that, and that is I went back to Demon Souls. Which sounds a little weird. Like I went
Ooh.
back to, like I started in there. I literally only made a character. That's all I did the first time.
Yes.
Made a
Yes.
character. I made it to the Nexus, which doesn't even take that long, probably 10 minutes. And
The
then
tutorial.
something took over. It's like, oh, I'll come back to this. So technically coming back, but really, I never even started.
You weren't ready for, or not. Well, yeah, you weren't, because you were off from Elden Ring, I remember, and then you were like, I don't like.
I think it was
you were
too
not
close.
in the mindset for it.
Yeah, it was too close to it, and I was like,
Right.
no, let's just
Right.
let's just set this aside for now.
Yeah.
But now I have gotten into it, and I'm really enjoying it, man. It's
Talk to
it's
me.
really good.
What type of character? What did you go into? What's your? I forgot the things about that game. I know I made a sorcerer and found myself
No,
a
I
little too
went with
powerful.
oh, that's interesting. I went with a so I started looking at builds. And I said, let me just go with a build that I don't normally go with. So I went with an endurance build. So my character currently is at 40 endurance. So I have like one of the longest stamina bars. And it's the Gloom Knight is what it's called, the Gloom Knight. So I just got the Gloom Knight set too, which is kind of cool. But I use a huge shield and a spear. So the shield basically shields me from pretty much everything, and I can have the shield up while I'm striking with the spear.
And you're not fat rolling?
And no, because of the endurance, because I have 40 endurance.
Nice.
So I mean, you start off, as you're trying to get to that, my character was pretty much running around, just in skivvies.
Hyperventilating.
Just to keep all that stuff off. It doesn't have your middle for Pharaoh. You either are high or low. There's no middle rolling, and it's just 50%. The moment you go past 50%, you're in fat roll.
You're fat rolling.
And it is fucking slow ass fat roll. It's ridiculous, but no. Now I have I'm good. So yeah, that's and I'm upgrading my weapons, and the game is a little easy. I guess in comparison, you know what I mean. I think
It was
I
one
took
of the first for that. Not a lot of people have played this type of games before, so
the what?
that it was it was the first of its kind. So
Yeah. And so it's not it's like the first, I want to say the first 2 or 3 bosses I killed on my first try. And then I finally got to another one that I think I died once and came back and then took him out. And then the most recent boss, it took me probably 3-4 times. So obviously it's
is that the spider in the cave?
No, the spider in the cave I killed on my first, because I was sitting from far in the cave and just shooting them in the face with an arrow.
Yeah. Did you know that they actually changed that fight is not the same as the fight on the original one, because the fight on the original was very unfair.
Oh, really?
Okay. Yeah, if I remember correctly, doesn't it throw some lava, like a whole thing of lava?
Yeah, it would do that here if you get close to it.
But you kind of have to like run back, right? Something like that.
I never had to deal with it because I stood in the far end of the tunnel and shot arrows at its face until it died.
Oh, okay, yeah, that kind of cheese. It once you can cheese that, but before there was something that was basically almost, I want to say almost unblockable or something like that. It had to do with lava, and it filled the room, like there was no escape from it. And now
I've seen the gameplay of it. Yeah, it
kind of allows you to avoid it, because a lot of people complain that that this is kind of a ridiculous difficulty spike.
Okay, that's if I'm not mistaken, that is the second. Yeah, the second boss.
It's like the third one.
Oh, the third one. It was the first one. Fuck, I don't remember what the first one was. I know the big ass Tower Knight was the second one. And I took him out on my first try. But that's because he's slow. You know what I mean? It's like he's not a hard big enemies are really not. They're just intimidating by they look, but they're really in these games. They're not. They're not. They're just intimidating by height.
Well,
But once you
in
realize
this game, there
in
have been some other
well,
ones
I would
where
even say like the first Dark Soul, the one you the big thing you take on before you go into the city, and the wall. I'm trying to think of the name of the fucking thing, but it's not coming to mind. But I mean, I dived to him a few times, but he wasn't hard because he just didn't move fast. You know what I mean? It's the fast
right.
ones that really fucking get you.
Yes,
And I find it annoying. But anyway, for this one, it's good. I'm enjoying it. I'm actually having fun with it.
Shit, I mean,
The
so
areas are very different. The graphics are freaking
the
amazing.
graphics are
Oh my god! I
fucking
wish
gorgeous. Yes.
I can't wait to see the next game that they do like this for any type of Souls games, because my god, this game looks
Yeah, just have them
ridiculous.
do their own or something.
Yeah. So, and I still have
Bloodborne.
that theory that they're going to
That's what
that they're
they're
going to.
working on.
I don't know, because
No,
they already
that's
said
it.
that they're working on a new IP and something else.
Yeah,
but-
because they're not gonna. They know that we want Bloodborne, so they're not gonna outright say it. But you gotta
If
imagine
they do
that
this
Sony
to
knows.
Bloodborne, my god,
Yeah.
it will Blue Point Games become
That's it.
the best studio as far as I'm concerned.
Well,
But
also
anyway,
let's not overhype Bloodborne because it's. I mean, we have fond memories, but
I
we're
didn't get that far into it because I don't know what it was. I don't remember what it was, but I was enjoying my time with it.
fucking framing.
Um,
It's probably.
It could be, yes, it could be. So anyway, that's really what I'm playing. It's so some of the stuff that is similar. Obviously, you know about your normal losing your souls and all this stuff. Some of the things I don't like is how your items, your health items specifically, although I think pretty much every item has a weight to it. And
yes.
you can have like you have your body weight with armor and stuff like that, and then you have your item limit. So you can also have
Mhm.
too much items, it just doesn't go limitless.
Mhm.
And I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like because I'm always picking up stuff that you see, the shinies, right? Whenever you spot one, you got to go get it. And then suddenly I'm not encumbered because I can still move around, but suddenly I'll have space for certain things and all that. Like, I try to get, when I get arrows, I always have a bow and arrow, for the record. It's just typical of me in these games. I don't do magic, so I always need something to hit from far, and so I always go for the bow and arrow.
Why you got against magic? What's wrong with
I
magic?
don't
user?
know.
Why you
I
have-
almost want to, but I just feel like the casting
No.
is what's going to annoy me because of the time it takes to cast. Then you have to figure out the timing to cast. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I realized that I always try to have like 100 to 150 arrows, so I always have enough whenever I go into an area, and it never fails. I go to buy some arrows and I can only buy 19. Why? Because I can't carry any more items.
Unencumbered.
I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, this is an annoying thing. And then
Yes, indeed.
yeah, that's, although I hear, I do hear that this is an upgrade. I could not imagine playing the original, but you can now just send things to the storage from wherever you are. You don't have to actually go back to the Nexus to go to the storage.
Right, yes.
But
That was
originally,
funny.
you had to leave the area
Yes.
and go back to the Nexus so you can put shit away and then go back into the area, which will start you back at the beginning because that's just the way that is. That's annoying.
the way it
That's
is.
yeah.
Yep.
So I'm glad that's a quality of life. I feel like it made sense to include.
Yes,
Um,
I agree.
One of the things I don't get, and I'm trying to wrap my head around, is
Nope, don't try.
the world tendencies.
No, don't try.
I'm not entirely sure what it is. I know that there are, and which frustrates the head on me, but there are story bits that are tied to the tendencies.
Mhm.
And I know that, so as you kill area bosses, it starts pushing you to white tendencies. If you die in human form at any point, it pushes you towards black tendency,
Right.
and or dark tendency. And and that's it. That's what I know. I've tried to understand it from a bunch of stuff that I read, and I still don't
No,
really
no, no,
fucking get it.
you pretty much got it because the other stuff is not dependent on you. It's most like the game like seasoning around like this time if you don't have to die that many times to go dark tendency or this one or this is white tendency season so it doesn't fucking matter so it's out of your control is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Well, I
uh
mean, yeah, I guess that could be it. But I know that there's with the black tendency, black world tendency, you have the enemies are stronger,
mhm, mhm.
um, but you do get more souls.
Yeah,
And what else? That's what I think of.
there's
And
some
then
people
obviously
that
the opposite on the white world tendency. Not that
yeah
they're weak, they're just not as strong. And so because of that, I've been pretty much sticking to soul form. I'm like, well, why would I change? I mean, I'm gonna fucking die often. Why would I throw my world into a black world
because
tendency because I fucking die all the time?
because when you're in soul form um your life is cut in half. I fucking hate that.
Oh well, I have a ring that's given me 25% back. So
A little
technically, I have
bit,
75%.
yeah, a
I have
little bit,
75% health.
but
Um,
still,
yeah.
we
Plus, I
also
also
we all
am
get that
at
ring early, so
uh I don't remember what I
yeah,
think you do get it early. It was right in the first area,
yeah, you get
unless
it.
it got moved. It's right in the beginning
Yeah,
area.
you get it early. You get it
Yeah,
early. You get it
yeah,
very early in the game.
yeah. And so yeah, that's why I'm like, okay, well, I can do this, and I haven't. I don't know. I don't know when to go into, and I just don't want to knock things into. But then again, I also want to see some of the stories. I don't know where to go. You know what I mean? I mean, or rather, I don't know what to. If I were to put it into white world tendency or black, and I haven't even looked. I'm going to tell you the truth. I couldn't
I
even tell
wouldn't
you.
bother with it because it's too like it's like it depends on your play, but also it doesn't. You know,
Oh, see,
because
that's what I'm
it's
saying. That's what, and I'm glad they never really brought back this system, because I think it's just
kind of
confusing.
I kind of wish they did though.
Do you?
I mean, in the sense that
Because
it
you
was
don't even
something.
have control of it, then I mean,
It was
that's a
something
level
that
of randomness that you don't even like
I
from.
know, right, but but it's not like on those type of games that everything's random. On this, having the white tendency and the dark tendency, it's more like a little bit of a gameplay change. It's kind of cool. And it brings something that it's not really like 100% understood. Like it's not mid max and I think it was cool that way. Although there are people that have min max that have learned how to min max that shit, and they will like die on purpose because they want to be dark, dark tendency because that's the only way to get a particular item or whatever. That people that
Well, you see, that's what I'm saying. If things are locked into that, how do I know?
no,
You'd have to
you don't
basically
care about
wander
the
all the worlds and start dying on purpose to go to. And the whole thing is like, I know you killing the bosses will put you back towards the white tendency, but then it's like, but if they're dead, because as you know, major bosses once you kill them, they're gone. And if you've knocked the entire thing into the backward tendency, how do you get a white now? You're probably stuck
Oh,
in that,
yeah,
and then because all the bosses of the area are gone, and the areas are apparently split up in almost like Mario worlds, 1-1, 1-2,
yeah.
1-3. I'm like, oh, that's very, or at least that's how they reference it, which
Yeah.
is really strange. But anyway, I am enjoying it for the record. That may sound like I'm a little down on it, but
I might need to dabble back into just to see where it left off and like how because I do like the game's fucking gorgeous and
oh my
amazing,
god,
but
it really is.
it it also felt a very good but a little bit dated in some of these
Well, it
things.
definitely does have. I mean, like the magic is not so spectacular,
Right,
but I
right.
would say that the what I like about it is how it feels gritty. Like when you're having those battles, you could be just battling a regular
Yes.
character. You would have whatever. It just feels like, cling.
Yeah.
And it feels good. It
Yes.
really feels good. And then PlayStation 5 DualSense really makes it feel good as well. So I get you. You're right. I mean, when you look at just look this compared to any of the other ones, you know what I mean? I guess the closest one of this will be Dark Souls. We try to go back to Dark Souls now after playing anything we've played. You're probably like, yeah, this was the first one, wasn't it?
True. True.
But when you get to Dark Souls 3, and now you've got so many weapons and your sword arts or weapon arts, and you get to Elden Ring, and you have buko magic, you know what I mean, and all this
Entire
craziness.
world.
Yeah, and an entire world. It's like, okay, well, it has elevated that to such an extent. So going back to it just makes sense. Just having the right mindset to know, okay, this is where it all started. So it's going to be a little more gritty. You know what I mean? It's almost like,
Right.
you know, I don't know why this came to mind as a comparison, but it's like John Wick 3 is where we're at right now when it comes to Souls games. But when you go back to the first John Wick, you know, you go, oh, well, that's when it was, you know, down to earth and gritty. You know what I mean?
It was no fantastical bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know why that came to mind, but I guess it makes sense, right? But yeah, so I am enjoying it though. I can't wait to jump back in. I've been playing it. I want to say I'm like level 60 already. So I'm pretty deep into it. I don't know. What did I just do? What's the last thing I did? I some weird huge. Was it a dragon? I think it was a dragon. It looked like a dragon, but I don't remember seeing it with wings. But it was like ridiculously huge. Just one of those bosses that you have to like go for the hand and then go for the other hand, and then you can attack the head because he puts his head down. You know, that type of weird boss, because he's so big. You know, if you were to stand next to him, you'd just be slapping his toe. You know what I mean? Because that's how big he is. But anyway, it is. That's the last one I took out, and I think I cleared that world, whatever that world was, because there was nothing after that. So I guess moving on to the next one. But anyway, it's I'm enjoying it. So that's Demon Souls, and I'm not going to score it just yet, but it is definitely trending well. I think it's a really, really solid game. Excellent remake by Blue Point. And I'm glad I went back to it. So. But anyway, that, ladies and gentlemen, is all that we've been doing. And we are back, guys, and we're going to go into some useless news. Really?
What? We still do those?
We still, sometimes. High
No,
register.
there might be something
Yeah.
that calls that shakes the foundations that we need to talk about. Like, you know, like they evidently there was an E3 that we weren't invited.
I'm telling you. I mean, it came out last minute. You know what I mean? And nobody
Yeah.
said anything. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, that just happened. So yeah, PlayStation had a state of play. They announced it the day before state of play.
Maybe.
And then the Nintendo had a direct, also announced fairly, shortly before the actual thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with.
Did Microsoft didn't have a TGS something, or has that happened, or did it happen and no one gave a fuck?
EGS did happen, I think, but I don't know if I saw anything that came out. Let me.
I thought Microsoft had something I heard, but then like I didn't hear anything from it. So, or maybe it was like an indie thing. I don't know. I was just that's what made me think that we were having some sort of like E3, because suddenly like all three companies were having some sort of announcement. And
oh, okay, here we go. When was this? This was, let me look at this. September 15th. Anything else? Oh my god!
But nothing must have come out of it because there was no.
Well, here we'll just run through, because I mean it's all list. I think you know what it is. I think it's all stuff we've seen. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll just run through them real quick here. The Xbox ones. Assassin's Creed Odyssey coming to Game Pass, which we saw. Danganronpa 3. Kiriko. dashes into Overwatch 2, even though Overwatch is not even out yet. We have another character.
Actor reveal. Okay.
Reveal. Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch remastered, coming from level 5. Let's see. Brand new trailer for Persona 5 Royale is incoming also to Xbox. Guilty Gear Strive coming to Game Pass. Blaze Blue cross tag battle. Ayuden Chronicles 100 Heroes is also coming to Xbox. Pal World. Pal World is a brand new multiplayer open world survival crafting game. It's right up my damn alley.
Oh yeah, all the words that you like.
Yeah. Fuga Melodies of Steel coming to Game Pass. Obviously, this I don't know what that is. It's an RPG, very Japanese apparently. Obviously, this is Tokyo Game Show. What else? Naraka Blade Point, the Unchained action battle royale for 60 players. Well, there you go. That's coming. And they showed off some more Wulong Fallen Dynasty. By the way, that is a demo right now on PlayStation 5 and an Xbox store. So if you're interested in it, it's available for, I think, just 10 days. So probably want to jump on it.
Oh, shit. We probably should play just to have some
have some thoughts on it. Deathloop is finally coming to Xbox, which we knew.
Oh,
it is.
I was asking about it. I was wondering.
Yeah. Set to release on September 20th. It is coming with some updates that were not in the other mode. Updates released for so players can look forward to photo mode, additional accessibility option, crossplay matchmaking, and a host of quality of life fixes.
Oh, that's not what I was hoping.
Yeah,
I was thinking of more actual content, you know. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Oh, wow.
I played that game already.
Yeah, I agree. Forza, which was good. I'm not gonna lie.
Forza Horizon. That game I didn't hate it.
Yeah,
but I didn't love it either.
Yeah, it was good. It just wasn't a 10. It just wasn't a 10, but it was good. Forza Horizon celebrates its 10th anniversary. They're showing off a new trailer for the Horizon Festival. I'm sure you're going to jump on that. And that, my friend, is everything. That's all I see here. So they had a show, but not really a lot, huh?
Confirmed.
Show actually
had something. Or did they?
So yeah, let's go over to the PlayStation State of Play, which was really just a 20-minute show. I did see the whole thing for the record. I was going to try to avoid some of it. Yes, I even saw the God of War stuff. But anyway, we'll get to that. I know. I was curious. I was like, okay, let me see. Anyway, they opened the show showing off Tekken 8 coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox
Remastered.
Series, and of course PC. With it looked good. It looked really I mean, it was mostly CG, but it looked pretty decent. Anything you want to say on that?
Okay, so it's time. Tekken needs to do the Mortal Kombat thing of having some sort of single player aspect. I know for fighting fans, they don't give a fuck about that. But if you want this to be a little bit more, sell a little bit more,
they need to jump on board, just like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter.
Yeah, those things are fun. I mean, when done right, which only Mortal Kombat and I was gonna call it Infamous, Injustice,
right?
The only two that have done it. Yeah. And by the way, where's Injustice 3 happening? Because I am buying that shit day one.
Whoa, okay. Whoa,
day one. You don't understand. You don't understand, bro. I am a big fan of even though I'm not a fighting person, mind you. I know, but I love the Injustice games. I have them both.
Nice.
And I played them both.
I mean, I would say I like the first one better, even the story in the first one better than the second one. But I did play them both. As well.
Yeah. They're good.
So from here they showed off two PSVR titles, PSVR 2 titles, Star Wars Tales of the Galaxy Edge Enhanced Edition, and a game called Demio, which is an award-winning tabletop dungeon crawler. Not really in VR, but it looked pretty cool. I don't really have
Yeah,
anything to add to say on top of that.
I heard the VR one titles are not compatible with VR2, and made me wonder like why not?
Because it's Sony, bro. Sony will discover a way to fuck up, and it's just the truth. They'll just invent ways.
Because that way they can sell you the next one.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, because they're gonna sell you
Well,
the upgrade.
shit.
Oh, yeah, because it's a $20 upgrade just to get it over to PlayStation VR 2.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So the next one they showed off, I'm really interested in your opinion, sir. Like a Dragon Ishin is releasing globally, PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One Series X, and PC in February. This looked interesting. So, I mean, I'm not sure. I still want to play. I actually have Like a Dragon, so I really can play it. I just haven't downloaded or anything. But I'm curious, sir. What did you think about? First off, did you see this one? I mean, I'm sure you did.
I did see this. I'll be honest with you. I think this was the only one that I saw.
That's the only thing you were interested in.
Because and the funny thing is, like, I saw that also by like the Judgment series got announced for PC.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously those trailers are always full of like action and story, and you're like, ooh, I remember this. It was fun. But then I went to YouTube, I put gameplay, and then you actually see gameplay, and then when you go like, oh, okay, I remember why I stopped there. Never mind. And not that is bad. It's just that they've done this shit so many times. At least with Dragon, this one that what's it called? Like a Dragon. Yeah, Like a Dragon Age. This looks different.
It does.
It looks based. Like it's the type of the running around a city. It's probably gonna be what is not probably. It's definitely gonna feel different, but feel a little samey.
Yeah, but it's ancient, it's like an ancient Japan, right? Or 1860s Japan.
Yes,
maybe
it
not
is.
Ancient, but
unless they fuck up and they just manage to do the exact same map, but with a reskin of. I mean, which I wouldn't put it past them, to be honest.
Yeah, but I guess you're wrong. Yeah, you're not wrong.
but I did like that. I mean, there's a lot of.
I like the fact that you have you have sword and gunplay.
And gunplay, yes.
I am a fan of this movie called Sukiyaki Western Django, which is it's not a Quentin Tarantino film, but he definitely helped promote it when it came out. And I think he's even in it briefly. But basically, it is a samurai Western. And yes,
awesome.
There are guns, there are swords. It's a lot of. The only issue, I think, my main issue is that everybody speaks English, and it's on purpose because the Japanese actors are speaking English. But wow, some of them have rough accents, and it's like, guys, you should have just went with Japanese. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, the point is to say that this kind of reminded me of that, and I was like, I'm kind of down. With this. I don't know if I'm going to jump on it, but I definitely intrigued.
Let Nick gift it to you.
Oh, Nick is. Are you kidding me? He's already pre-ordered the shit. He's like, oh, this is done. It's already done. Yeah,
he's already a beta tester.
I know he signed up for it and everything. So yeah, it looks interesting. So we'll see what comes out. Again, that comes out in February of next year. Next year. I know we said that about this year, but this year ended up being really front loaded because since April, May, it really hasn't been much.
All head.
Yeah. Wow. Well done, sir. Well done. But next year really looks a little bit jam packed. But we'll see what happens with next year. Next year is all a body, or who knows. But anyway, Hogwarts Legacy is receiving a PlayStation exclusive quest, for that company that doesn't like exclusives, with the Haunted Hogsmeade's shop. And then they showed off a little bit more gameplay. I have to say, and I don't know if this is them trying to get us ready for it, but this particular one didn't look it looked good, but it didn't look as like, wow, like the other gameplay stuff. And I'm just like,
that we've seen, right?
So we're starting to downgrade here before we get to the release date.
Oh,
Huh?
oh
I
no!
feel it.
They Yumi something
I
in.
feel it. This is WB, bro. I said it when I first saw Hogwarts. Like, I was like, something is off. This looks way too freaking good. Yeah.
Well, they got acquired by who was it? Discovery. So Discovery said, no, that's looking too good. We won't be able to sell the remaster later on down the line. So
Exactly.
make that shitty.
Wow. Yeah. Well done, sir. That could be actually. Yeah. There's some
It's
credence
plausible.
to that, bro. Yeah. So anyway, Hogwarts Legacy showed off. Then it showed off a new game called Pacific Drive, which is a run-based first-person driving survival game coming
There's
to
a lot of
PlayStation.
words there that got some tinglies off of me.
I mean, I don't know. I saw the trailer, and I invite you to look at the trailer. But you're basically behind the car most of the time, and you're just trying to survive, and you're just driving
I don't know.
through this area. It's just a survival game. You can definitely tell. It takes place in 1955. Looks like the United States government sees a region of Pacific Northwest, and that's really all. That's the setting. But it looks like
Now they
there's
have
some
to
sort of
hightail it.
paranormal thing. I'm not really sure, but it looks interesting. And if there's one thing I love, it's something different. You know what I mean? So we'll see. I don't know who's the makers of this here. Do they have the name? I don't have the name here.
Not
Sorry.
a Sony studio. It's just
It's not a Sony studio. But it is coming to PlayStation 5 and PC only, at least for now. And then we got a first look at PlayStation Stars digital collectibles, which are not NFTs, but still kind of are NFTs. Let's be real.
Digital collect.
Yeah. Little things you can acquire for doing silly things that they, challenges and stuff like that they do. It's part of their rewards program, and I think you can get some.
I mean,
stuff like
can
that.
you?
It's free anyway. You're not actually paying for
There
it. So,
you go. Okay,
Yeah.
that's how they're not NFTs because they're not meant to have value. I mean, you could trade them probably, and that might be its own market when you think about it. But they're not pushing it hard as such. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, same here. It's actually free, so that's always a good thing.
I mean, they could have brought home, but whatever.
It's coming. I feel it's coming. I have faith
What do you say?
that they're
Don't
going to
play
do
with
it.
my heart. It's never happening.
The next game they showed off, sir, is a game called Sin Duality. This is a sci-fi third-person shooter game by Bandai Namco. Looks pretty cool. There's kind of a little bit of a mech going on here. I don't know if you saw any of this gameplay, but it's vibrant, very vibrant colors. And let me see what they have here.
Was it called Centrality?
Sin Duality. SYNDUALITY. Very cool looking game. Graphically, wow, actually looked pretty nice. But they showed it off. I think it's one of those, I'll keep it in the back. I'll check it out. It is coming to Xbox Series X and S as well, along with PlayStation 5 and PC. So it's third person shooter game with mechs. So we were just talking about mechs earlier. Seems like it's right up your alley, sir.
Yeah, I mean, it looks. I'll keep an eye on it because it does look interesting.
Yeah,
but it's still
it's in the end, it's still third person shooter. Exactly.
Hey, third person is my favorite person. So
Okay.
Those are the games that I enjoy the most when I can see my character do crazy shit because then I feel like a total badass.
Speaking of seeing crazy shit a third person character does, the next game is the retitled Stellar Blade. Original name was Project E. We saw this. This is Korean developer Shift Up. It is a PlayStation 5 console exclusive coming on 2023. And it looks really, really good. So this is, to me, I was looking at this and I wanted to get your opinion on this. I feel that this is the Bayonetta that Bayonetta stopped being. You know what I mean? Like, you look at Bayonetta 1 and she was, she had no problem getting a little bit, skimpy with
Prestige.
stuff because of her hair, and then suddenly, she got Nintendo'd because Nintendo
Yeah,
always does.
Nintendo, exactly.
So, but here, and again, not that matters in the game, but I'm just saying that it appears to be like a very intense action, third person game, and it looks ridiculous, bro. I'm almost like in shock that this is actually what the game looks like, bro. But yeah,
Yes.
man, it's ridiculous. It looks good. We saw it when it was originally called Project Eve, and even back then, I was like, "Oh, this is a game. It's just the
We were wondering, right?
TNA of the
Because
game is what this is."
we were yes, we were wondering too when we saw it. It's like, oh, that that looks nice. And like I don't
Mhm.
think there was any more than that, but it kind of perked us up like a little bit. Or at least
Yeah.
it did to me. It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
same here.
okay,
Same here.
yeah.
It looks very interesting. It just, I mean, almost can. I mean, I don't want to compare it to, but it almost has that big boss battle moments that I've seen here. But again, it's so fast paced. It really more reminds me of Devil May Cry or Bayonetta, which is why I'm thinking this is definitely a Dream Twister joint if I've ever done.
Without a doubt. If I could see, like, I really hope this game is good because this could be like the beginning of a
Franchise?
franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Uh,
does look stellar.
Yeah. Well done. Stellar Relay.
Thank you.
Again, coming 2023. We don't have a specific time, just the year.
Console exclusive.
Rise of the Ronin was the next game. This was from Koei Tecmo and Team Ninja, an open world action RPG, PlayStation 5, console exclusive. This is another one that kind of took me by surprise. My only issue is that it's not set to come out to 2024. So why are they even bringing it up now? But I guess that's my only issue. But
it's good. It's good that they announce it. I think.
I do love the fact that this is clearly a next gen one. So we know we're gonna get we know what we're gonna get here. We're not gonna have something that's gonna be held back by last gen,
right?
And so it takes place in 19th century Japan at the very end of a 300-year long Edo period, commonly known as Bakumatsu. It is very pretty. I mean, it is. I mean, because I'm looking at there's actually cities and stuff like that, but it just, I mean, this looks like it may be giving Ghost of Tsushima a run for his money for me personally, because but there's also gunplay in it, like with rifles, and I'm like, oh, this looks.
If this
intense,
is an open
bro.
world, if this is an open world, then I will, I will be there. If it's not, then I'm a little less impressed. Not because the graphics are like.
Oh, it's open world.
Great, because they do look really good. It's just I don't see. I'm not seeing anything here that didn't particularly look better in Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, it is an open world. Open world RPG.
If it's an open world, then hell yeah, this is.
Yeah.
Looks
so they did have that, and it's been in development for 7 years already. It was reviewed by Team Ninja and still not set to come out to 2024. So there's money behind this. You know what I mean? You really think about it for how long they've been on doing it, and it's an exclusive. Again, for a company that is pissed off with Call of Duty possibly going exclusive, they have no problems securing these things. But
so much.
And then finally, God of War Ragnarok. They revealed a story trailer, and I gotta say, I know why you didn't watch it, and I perfectly understand. But I'm kind of glad I did, because I think I needed it. Like I was just like, I know it's coming. That's fine. I'll get it when it comes out. But I wasn't like whatever. And I watched it, and I was just like, okay, all right. I remember why I wanted to play this. Okay, I got you. And so that's not me trying to tell you to watch it. I mean, I think you probably still end up, just me knowing and what I watch it, I think you'll probably end up having a better experience walking into it blind when you get the game.
That's what I want, because I have no I mean, I fucking love God of War. That God of War game was like something extraordinary. But do I have to see what's coming from it? Like, no, not necessarily, because kind of imagine the type of game it is already. It's not like with this God of War that we didn't know what the fuck it was gonna be.
Mhm.
Like I will expect, hey, it's still gonna be. They're not gonna change the type of game that the original God of War was. It's just gonna be. It's gonna be more of it. It's basically what they did with Horizon Zero Dawn, which is, hey, if you like the first game, you're gonna love the second one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm
Pretty
cool
much.
with that.
But yeah, it looks really good. And it also showed off a new controller that you can get. It's a God of War Ragnarok controller, which comes in a blue, which it looked nice.
It's probably gonna
But
break.
I didn't really care for it. It has a graphic on the touchpad and all that. And like
Yeah,
I can
those
see
are
that.
not the ones.
Yeah, I can see that wiping off pretty easily. So yeah, that's everything they showed off. Really quick, 20 minutes in and out, and we got some good information. From there, we have Nintendo. Nintendo had a direct. We're going to start at the top with the big boy, and that, of course, is Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, which is coming May 12th of 2023. So we have a date. They showed off a brief trailer. It looks very beautiful, as did the first. Still haven't played Breath of the Wild, so I feel like I will
You will soon.
need to. Yeah, I was gonna say I will need to address this before. I mean, I've played most of the Legend of Zelda, so I mean, it only makes sense for me to really jump into
It
this.
only makes sense.
It
Yeah.
only makes sense, yeah. But yeah, man, it looks pretty good. I don't know if you saw the trailer. It didn't really have that much, but yeah, not much to say on that.
Knew, already, what it was, and that's good because I mean that Zelda, that Zelda game, it's phenomenal, and not doing anything with that engine would kind of be wasteful. So it's good that they, I don't know, Phantom Hourglass did. Is that what that game is called?
There's a Phantom Hourglass is one of the Zelda games, yeah.
No, but which one's the one that it was it was basically like Ocarina of Time, but it was something else. It kind of got released around the same time.
I know what you're talking about. Majora's Mask.
Majora's Mask, sorry. The Majora's Mask it was the reference. I fucked up the reference. But because Majora's Mask, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was kind of using the same engine as
Exact
Ocarina.
same engine. Yep. Exact
Right?
same engine for
it was like, hey, we got this. It worked great. People loved it. Why not reuse it again for another thing? And let's make it crazy. And
yeah, and
there's an
they
opportunity
really
here.
did make something special there, very different. But using all the, as you said, all the assets that were already available to them. So
kind of like a cool expansion, in a sense. Yeah.
I can agree.
Yeah. I can be down with that. Except I don't own a Switch. So I'm Switchless.
Yeah, that's true. You can always borrow mine, sir. It's not like it's being used. But anyway, Fire Emblem Engage was shown off, expected to release January 20th of 2023. I have not really played any of the Fire Emblems, so don't really have much to say on that. I don't know if you do.
I have. Yeah, they has their fan base. I thought it was overrated when I played it. It's like, this is
Most things
strategy.
Nintendo related
but-
are.
Oh shit!
I'm just kidding.
We just lost our last listener.
Sorry. Speaking of overrated, no. It Takes Two is
Takes
coming
Two?
to Nintendo Switch on November 4th. And sir, I'm going to tell you right now, you can definitely see the downgrade. Because I was looking, I was like, okay, this.
At least it's not a streamed version.
Yeah, I mean,
Cloud version. Sorry.
yeah, the cloud version, yeah. But yeah, I mean, in the end, it comes down to the gameplay. So and the obviously the characters and all that's in there. So that still remains the same. But it was easily noticeable for someone. Like, I was like, whoa, okay, this is here we are again, back in the same days where you get the downgraded version on a Nintendo console. But anyway, I want to quickly go through a few of these. I don't really have much to say. Fatal Frame: Mask of the Lunar Eclipse coming to Switch next year. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is giving an expansion pass or the second wave of the expansion pass coming out on October 13th. Fist of the North Star, a fitness boxing game. Yeah, that's exactly what people want from Fist of the North Star. March 2023. Tunic is coming September 27th. That's right around the corner. Maybe actually give me a reason to play, but no, I'll probably get it on Sony. Anyway, Front Mission coming in November. Excuse me, a bunch of Front Mission remakes. You got Front Mission in November, Front Mission 2 in 2023, and Front Mission 3 sometime in the future. Splatoon 3 showed off a little bit more of that, and they are going to hold Splatfest. It's coming, and it should be held between September 23rd to the 25th. So just a tournament thing. Octopath Traveler 2, sir, was announced. This was an interesting one. I want to get your take because I know you enjoyed the first one, but found it, if I remember correctly, found it a little bit repetitive in certain ways. But February 24th, 2023, a sequel is coming. What say you, sir?
This game always looked amazing, right? But when you played it, it felt like a very simplistic homage to to 8-bit or 16-bit era RPGs. Like this could have been done on a mobile.
It can be. I think it's done now.
I think it did. I think it's done now.
I think I have Octopath Traveler right now on my phone. I just never played it.
It's just exactly, and that should because the problem I had is it divided the story way too much. Where it was cool that you were traveling with all these characters, but the characters didn't matter at all if the section of the story where you were was not theirs. Like if the section had to do with that particular character, then that character will be full of life and they'll be doing a lot of things. Once you were done with it, that was it. That was all for your interaction. He would just become a semi-silent NPC, helping you along the along the way. He might say something, but it felt like too divided. And you know how I don't like those RPGs when you can see where the chapters are almost it's very obvious where they cut, and then they become like, oh, okay, so you solved the issue on this area. Now let's move on to this area where you will be faced with a, different, although very similar type of issue, and you will go to the exact same thing. I mean, shit, it's even the reason why even games like Yakuza 4, which is a completely odd game to throw it out, but I didn't like the fact that game had me, you go to 4 different characters, and every time you get a character, it's almost like you're starting again. I didn't like that. So I'm not sure what Octopath Traveler 2 will be.
You don't have that one though, do you?
I have.
You had it digital. I think that's what you did. Octopath Traveler.
Octopath Traveler. Yeah, that was digital.
That was it. Okay. All right. Fae Farm, which is a fairy tale farmstead, which is basically looks a lot like Animal Crossing, coming out Nintendo Switch on spring of 2023. Final Fantasy Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line. Basically, 385 songs from the Final Fantasy universe. It's a rhythm game. This is set to come out February 16th of 2023. It looks like it includes Nier, Octopath Traveler, and Live a Live. Also getting some songs in there. So, Mario plus Rabbids Spark of Hope is coming out in October, and look pretty. We'll see about that one because I had the first one and I didn't get to finish it, but it was enjoyable. A slew of Nintendo 64 games are coming to the service, Nintendo Online service. Starting with Pilot Wings 64, Mario Party 2, Mario Party 3, Pokemon Stadium 2, 1080 Snowboarding, wow, Excitebike 64, and GoldenEye. GoldenEye, of course, coming soon to the Switch Online Plus expansion pack, believe it or not. So, from there, Mario Strikers Battle League is getting Mario. Free update was going to include Pauline and Diddy Kong. Mario Kart 8 is getting 2 new courses. Nintendo Switch Sports is going to include golf. Pikmin 4 is actually announced but didn't show off any gameplay. Just Dance is still a thing. Harvest Stella, yet another farming sim. This one will have some combat with monsters coming out November 4th. A demo is available now on Nintendo eShop. Bayonetta 3. Nintendo showed more Bayonetta 3, wherein the titular hero is saving the world alongside Luke, Jean, and a new ally named Viola. So it's a crew. And it's launching October 28th. And you don't have a Switch anymore. Oh.
after waiting for a decade. And I don't have a Switch anymore.
Oh, no Switch for you.
I kind of, yeah. And you know what? I knew that it was happening. I knew that when it was time to determine, like, okay, am I going to keep this $350 console just for Bayonetta? Because I'm sure as hell not looking forward to playing anything else, and I hadn't seen Zelda, but again, it's still a very expensive console for just a handful of games.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. Yeah.
That's the part where I was like, okay, now I'm going to have to sacrifice it because in any case, I still love the original Bayonetta game. Bayonetta 2 felt very Nintendo, and I didn't like that. And this one doesn't look.
This one has a crew now. Now you have Luca, Jean, and Viola. So now it's
exactly that's that's I don't want that. The thing that attracted me the most about the original Bayonetta, not just the edginess, but the fact that for the first time you had some original enemies that you're fighting, and these enemies were like some of the most beautiful designs in gaming, and I love the design of each of them. Of course, you look at them now, and I mean, this is a game from what, 2007 or whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's 2 generations ago. So
yeah. So it probably won't hold up. But when it came out, it was because everything was supposed to be like angelic and virtuous and glorious, and like you were fighting these things instead of being this thing. So it kind of felt, and then Bayonetta 2 tried to do the opposite. They tried to, well, now you're fighting, demons, and that's felt like, oh, well, I've done that so many times before. I mean, I played Devil May Cry. Thank you very much. Bayonetta doesn't have to make the devil cry again. So this one, evidently, now you're fighting. I guess the fucking middle. I guess neither good nor evil.
Yeah, because we gotta be neutral, bro.
Or whatever. It's like, okay, now you're making shit up. This is not the Bayonetta. This is not the game that I love. The game that I love made homage to Sega games also, which I really appreciate. Obviously, that Bayonetta 2 did not do that, and this one, like, I don't know, it could be good for what it is, but
we'll see.
I'm over it. Yeah. I'm over you.
I was gonna say, I think you've gotten to that point. So,
yes,
but which is a shame because honestly, that just means Nintendo got you to that point. So,
yeah, fortunately.
But so from there we have Resident Evil Village, which is coming out, but of course this is a cloud version because if you want to see the Nintendo Switch blow up, is try to have it run Resident Evil Village normally. So it's going to be the cloud version. There's a demo out right now. New DLC coming in December 2nd. Sifu, roguelike game, also coming to the Switch on November 8th. Endless Sifu? Yeah, Sifu.
I didn't know that was coming. The game that I was playing the other day? I didn't know that was playing that was coming for Switch.
Yeah, and it's coming natively, and again, you can kind of tell a little bit. Yeah,
it comes and it shows.
And yeah, you can't hide it. You can't hide it. Unfortunately, and we just think how old the tech is in the Switch, Benito. That thing is, it's poor thing. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion launches on December 13th, and then finally. Oh, no, not finally. Life is Strange Arcadia Bay Collection, which combines Life is Strange Remastered, Life is Strange Before the Storm into one bundle, coming to Nintendo Switch September 27th. That one looked good. Um, Romancing Saga Minstrel Song Remastered, coming December 1st. And Fall Guy Season 2, September 15th. But coming to everything anyway. And then finally, Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, coming on February 24th of 2023. Lots of games. I have to definitely say, a lot of games presented here, but many of which are not until 2023. So still a lot of wait. Even if you still had the Switch, Bayonetta's still not coming out to then anyway. So so that says it all. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It launches October 28th. Apologies. So that's still pretty close.
Oh, yeah. Bayonetta. Yeah, that was the thing. It's finally happening.
It's finally here. Sir, that's all the news bits I have. I understand you have a news bit of your own.
Kind of well, I was gonna say breaking news, but the news it's all over already. Anyway, by the time that this goes up, it's probably gonna be 2 weeks. No, kind of a surprising developing story. I don't know how to explain the magnitude that this is in consolite in console speak. So I'm gonna propose to explain it because this is PC related. This is totally 100%.
I figured that. But go ahead.
That's why this is not gonna give a fuck about this, but it still doesn't take away the fact that this is a fucking megaton like last minute thing. So imagine, if you will, in your case, let's transfer it to, and this is not gonna be one to one either. But imagine, if you will, if you know that the PlayStation division is its own thing, right? From Sony, and you got Sony, the parent company, and stuff like that.
Correct. Yeah.
All right. Imagine if suddenly there was some sort of like a conflict in between the parent company and Sony Computer Entertainment, when Sony Computer Entertainment decided to literally say, "Oh, fuck it, we're not making PlayStations anymore."
Whoa.
And that'd be huge, right?
To say the least.
I'm trying to put it in the closest way possible, even though it's not going to be one-on-one, because this is obvious. That will obviously be an overkill megaton, and also something kind of ridiculous because it's still Sony. It's not a thing company. It's not going to do that. But I was trying to give you the idea of how big this is, equivalent to what's happening in the world of PC, where we got new graphics cards coming already announced for the end of September. It's it's the actual next generation of NVIDIA video cards, and that's usually is big, because when a generation of graphics cards come, it's almost like it's very similar to a console release, but too quickly, unfortunately. but also it's optional. It's nothing that you have to like jump into. Like, if you're okay with your graphics card, like I am with mine right now, it doesn't make a difference. But new architecture is coming. Everyone's excited. All the board partners are the companies that are making their own branded version of this NVIDIA card are they have their stuff ready. Obviously, they're not showing anything because everything's embargo, and technically it hasn't been officially announced, even though everybody knows this about that. But anyway, one of the major brands, the biggest brand of them all, in the States, and I'll hazard that to say probably in the world, it's a company called EVGA, and EVGA has decided, like, full stop, that they were not going to take the disrespect from NVIDIA, which is the company that provides the chips to all these people, and they have decided that they are not going to bring the latest video cards to the market. Moreover, they're exiting out of the video card manufacturing completely, full stop. Whoa. They're not making more. They're not bringing EVGA video cards, which will be something similar to, I don't know, a car manufacturer is suddenly disappearing because they were not provided the parts. Except that in this case, this company, 80% of their I don't want to say I don't want to say it wrong because I don't think it's revenue, because they do have other products that they have power supplies, they have keyboards, they have other computer parts, but for the most part, like at 80% of their sales were coming off from these graphics cards that they were making. I mean, that's what they were known for. Like it's in the name EVGA. The VGA part comes from the fact that VGA is a video card.
Mm-hmm.
Them decided not to do that brings a lot of questions as to what's gonna happen. By the way, this is being found out. This was released via two major YouTubers that I follow, that had a meeting with the company, like in secret, and it was embargo. And today was up the embargo, and today was when they released the news. Around 4 p.m. They both published that, and I was like, wait a minute, am I reading right? And I was working, and I was like, wait, what the fuck? Am I reading this right? And it says that they're getting out of it, out of the video game, the video card market, just like that, when they were pretty much the quintessential. I mean, almost literally, you might say they were the PlayStation of video cards, if you will. There was such
a thing. Yeah.
Thing,
Yeah, I was taking a look at it here. 22 years? 22 years that they've been doing it. Wow.
They've been partners with NVIDIA forever. The thing is that and NVIDIA and its CEO, which if you go to nvidia.com, you'll see the CEO talking to himself on a video, or with a computerized version of him. They are known in the industry for being world class, top of the line, high level assholes, and this is something that they don't shy away. They control them. First of all, they make the chips. Their chips are outstanding. Mm-hmm. That's the whole thing with the whole ray tracing movement. Like, even though it wasn't invented by them, but this whole ray tracing movement, like they're the ones that gave it the push needed for the adoption that we're seeing now, even in consoles. All right. Now they don't provide the console. They don't provide the chips for our consoles. They provide the chips for the Nintendo Switch, I believe. The Tegra chip is theirs.
Okay.
Right. Yes, they provide that, but they don't provide.
Ooh, I knew it. I called it.
Yeah. You said it. You said it.
Yeah, I know something. Shoot.
That's kind of freaky. They have their the so-called partners. They dictate their rules of how they can bring this up. And I mean, when I say dictate, I mean like in every fucking way possible. It has to show like this. You cannot make a customized version of it. Like, you can customize the way it looks like on the periphery. Like, if you want to, you can play with the cooler, with the cooling and with the and with the power delivery and you can sell different SKUs based on the quality of either the cooler or the power delivery. But you can say, for example, add more RAM or try to make it faster, or make something original, put two chips together and make a quadruple, whatever.
Yeah. It's still their product in a way. So I got it. Okay.
You will think, but it is and it isn't, because they're selling the pieces to the board partners, but they're also dictating, but you're gonna do it this way, or else we're not gonna provide you with chips. It's like back in the day. Remember when Nintendo had that rule of Nintendo, I'm talking about the old era original NES. um, when they will sell the companies. I mean, they will give licenses to the companies to make games for them, but they have to pay for the license A, and B, they have to buy the cartridges directly from
Of
Nintendo.
course, yeah.
They're not
Yep.
allowed to
Mhm.
to make their own or anything like that. And it was that kind of level of control, and arguably that's how you, by that level of crazy control, that sounds asshole, like a really like it sounds like an asshole thing to do, but that's how you actually make products that end up meaning something. Like even Apple, I'm not a fan of Apple at all, but I have to give credit where credit due, and the things that they, on some of the things that they do. That I mean, they are, they're really good. So anyway, um, it's they control the market, they control the means of production, if you will, and they will make and the board partners. Imagine this: you're a board partner, you're selling a video card. Imagine if you're not told, you're preparing already, you're making orders on these cards, but you're not advised of what the MSRP is going to be for them. You're all this time you're operating in the dark. You find out literally at the same time that the general public finds out, because on a keynote they decide to release on September 29th. I think it's gonna be, they're gonna release that information. That's when the board partners will know how much
Wow.
they can sell it to. So if Nvidia says these cards are gonna be $3,000, guess what? That's what the board partners are going to have to imagine running a business like that level of in the dark.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's
So
enough to piss off anybody. Yeah,
the,
piss off any
the-
company in Jeff. Yeah,
exactly. So the reasons that AVGA give here is not like, they're not giving financial reason. They're not trying. They're saying like, they're saying we're tired of Nvidia's disrespect, and if that means us taking a hit, that's what we're gonna do. Our companies, it's solvent. We own the places that we are. We have other things that will make us money. Although, admittedly, I don't think they have anything that will make them maybe as much money as the video card division. However, I understand that their video card division also, because of all the Nvidia bullshit, it wasn't super.
yeah. Not super making money to begin with. Yeah, anyway, yeah.
Exactly. So they were still making money, but because the sheer volume, not necessarily because they were getting a big profit out of each unit sold. As a matter of fact, the way they're selling them right now, just to get rid of inventory, they're losing hundreds of dollars on them, because the video cards are now where you can find them anywhere and everywhere. The scarcity is over. And it has
Yeah,
been.
and it appears like they were undercutting EVGA as well. I don't know if you had
Mhm.
mentioned this already, but
Oh no, I didn't.
okay.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so it
They,
looks like Nvidia offered through Best Buy the RTX 390 Ti for $1,099, completely undercutting EVGA and all the other ones
yes,
that were offering their products at $1,399. So
that's right.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I don't know how to put this in comparison to a console, because you don't see this in console, because
No, you don't see
everybody's
this type
like
of
their own
behavior.
walled
Yeah,
garden. On this case, you have a competitor. It's like, I'm selling you the parts. I'm telling you the parts I created. I created something awesome, and if I want other people to partner up with me and sell their versions of it, I'm selling you the parts, but I'm telling you, but you have to do it this way. And they're like, okay, we'll do it your way. That's fine. As long as we make, as long as we make some money of it. And then behind your back, I come in and I release my own product, which I don't have to worry too much about the cost, because I don't have to buy the chips, because I make the chips.
yeah. They're made in house.
So exactly, and I have a deal with Best Buy very comfortably selling at a lower MSRP. While you are dealing with the higher cost, because you're buying the chips and the parts to put together everything. it's just fucking crazy, bro. It was
Yeah.
just insane that to hear a CEO come out and say this, we're done with their disrespect. We're out. And that's like that's a massive cut that they're doing. Like, I don't know if this company, this is either the beginning of something of a new era for EVGA or the end of it, or the
Yeah.
end of the company. And I feel bad for the employees who must be like super nervous. It's like, because they just literally find out when I found out, you know.
Mhm.
This is when the news broke out. This is when they're getting their notice of, oh, by the way, we're not making the series for, you know, the 4080s cards, or, you know, the expected ones that we were expecting to make us a lot of money. I am out. You know, we're out because our boss says so. Our boss said, "Fuck you, Nvidia." And it's not the first time that someone has says "fuck you, Nvidia." There's a funny video of, you ever heard of the Linux operating system? It's basically the operating system that the whole internet uses, basically.
Yes, I have heard of it. Yes.
So the actual person that basically created it, there's a funny video where he's giving like a speech on a school and something like that, and he mentions something about Nvidia, and then he looks straight in the camera and says, "And Nvidia, if you're watching, fuck you." He raised his middle finger to the camera. It's so funny because you could tell everybody hates this company.
Yeah.
They just have a very good fucking product. They nailed it. The technology is unrivaled. They're amazing. But because they're pompous assholes, and they wear it on their sleeve, the fact that they're pompous assholes. It's just weird.
That's insane.
It's like a mafia thing. Anyway.
Yeah.
I just thought it was too crazy to know that we're not gonna get another EVGA card. EVGA, that was probably the company that also had like the most incredible warranty. Like, you could literally, they had a step up program here in the US. You could trade in your video card, your EVGA video card for a newer model, basically, and just pay the difference. And that was kind of amazing because you don't see companies doing that. And I had a VGA card. An EVGA card. Well, actually, I had several during my whole time, but there was one in particular that had a problem with warranty, and they treated me like extremely well. You know, that warranty process was fucking pain. I mean, hell, they sent me the card first, and then have me send back the other one, which again, not a lot of companies do. So
No, yeah.
To lose them, it's a great loss. Obviously, less competition, and of all the companies that could have gone, the literal best one is the one that said no more, fuck you, Nvidia, and left.
I wonder if that. I don't think it's going to. You know what I mean? Because in the end, money. Money is the same old why. But I wonder how many others will, you know what I mean? If
I'll stood on it. It's like
if it causes that initial wave, and
it'll be interesting.
it'd be interesting.
The thing is, can they afford it though? Because not a lot of them are gonna be in the same position. Like, I mean, I'll be honest with you. Even the people from, if you were to watch the interviews, or they didn't show the interview, but they talked about the interviews, and they straight up asked them, it's like, you guys are planning to sell? Are you gonna bring cards from other? That's
what I was thinking. Yeah,
AMD, like AMD has a good card. I mean, hell, they provide the video chips of the consoles.
Mm-hmm.
Of the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. That's an AMD an AMD chip. They're not as powerful as the NVIDIA versions of them, but it's something.
They do the job.
Yeah, they do the job, and they're like, and he's like, nope, we're not. We're getting out of the thing entirely. That's like fucking. I don't even know how it is. Fucking Volkswagen saying we're not gonna make any other cars. We're just gonna keep selling the rest of the merchandise. But we'll keep up.
Yeah, we'll keep up the maintenance of any existing Volkswagen, but we're done.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
and they say that about. They also say, oh, we intend to keep like a
Yeah,
particular amount
updating.
of
Yeah,
cars
yeah. Mhm.
for when if for warranties, the warranty their warranties were extremely generous, so they're gonna have
Wow.
to have enough for years. And what are they
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
do out? They probably buy your car back or something. I don't know. It's just
Maybe.
crazy. It's
Yeah,
just it's insane and it's sad. It's insane and it's sad.
it is, but that's the craziness of business and the way it works nowadays.
Yeah, fucking
But
Nvidia
wow,
is
that's crazy.
now. You know how we see the typical evil companies, of in
Mhm.
movies. Like no might as well call them Evil Corp or whatever. That's fucking
Yeah.
Nvidia for real. That is the way they operate is with that evilness and ruthlessness.
I mean, you could say the same
Of
thing
it.
about Apple, can't you? I mean, you
Well,
can
yeah,
almost,
yes,
yeah.
true,
So
true. But and hey, it can unfortunately sets a precedent when you think about it. It's like, yeah, Apple is just as assholes,
mhm.
but look at the profit margins, look at the way they're making money and stuff like that. It's the same with Nvidia. Fucking Nvidia, it's one of the richest companies in the world, and that their technology is fucking compared to none.
Yeah,
It's their AI technology and their application, because it's not just video games. I mean, that's a small portion of it. They make like half of the cars that are driving themselves is because of Nvidia. Let's put it that way.
yeah.
When you see the Teslas and the ultra the cars that drive themselves, yeah. So,
Good stuff. Good stuff.
oh man,
That is crazy, but interesting to hear. So, all right. Well, that takes us to the end of our new segment here. So it's time for the hot topic of the week.
hot
Hot topic
topic!
again, ladies and gentlemen, is of course best video game trailers.
Holy shit!
And so we're just gonna kind of go through our own personal favorites of the trailers that we've seen, and I think we'll have a little bit of a crossover. But I feel
I was gonna
there's gonna
say,
be
I got a feeling that there might be a couple of them that we might agree too much. So there might be some different ones. Actually,
agree,
I know
agree.
that there's some different ones.
So I'm actually gonna start right off the bat with
Oh,
something I'm pretty sure is not something that you would consider, but I absolutely loved it when it came out. The way the music played on it, the way it just delivered, like you already knew that the game was going to be brutal because of its history, but just to see it play and the music, the way it did it, and just the God of War 3 Vengeance trailer. uh,
shit! I need to pull that right now to see. God of War 3. You said?
God of War
Uh,
3 Vengeance trailer. Um,
Machine guns.
it is, I'll never forget it. It had me super hype on the game, even though, I get it. Kratos is Kratos, but it has just some of the coolest moments because at this point, this was on PlayStation 3. Wait, or 4?
Oh,
No, this was
three?
PlayStation 3.
I mean,
Yes.
3? Yeah, 3 will be 3.
Yeah, PlayStation 3. So it was, yeah, because PlayStation 2 had the first two. So this was really showing off the power of the PlayStation 3 and just the epic moments. And dude, I was just in. I was in like Flynn, bro.
I mean, I'm looking. I'm just looking at it. Obviously, I'm not hearing
The sound,
the
yeah.
sound. But I
There's
think
this
that's
one,
what makes it. I think that's what
yeah,
mostly makes it.
exactly. That's what's funny
The rest
because
is gameplay.
yeah,
The
you're
rest,
seeing the gameplay, but you have these moments. He goes, and and then he goes, like this like warp sound. It's just like, oh, it just gets you into it. I invite you
we
to
should
listen
be
to it when
make a list.
when you can
Make
actually
a
listen
list.
to it. Yeah. Yeah.
We should be posting this trailers. I'm looking at it now, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I think I see it. It does. It
Oh, when
does.
you get the second, the second half is when you start seeing the whatever. But it's just the music, man. Just the way it sells it. and just the epicness of it. And I was just in shock after playing, God of War 2, which God of War
Mm.
2 was pretty epic leap from God of War 1. God of War 1 had its, you fought the Hydra, was crazy battle. You had whatever, and then you had everything in the end. God of War 2 kind of expanded on that. And then to see this, bro, I was
Okay.
in, bro. I've always been a fan of God of War, and I get God of War. Kratos as a character, became very one dimensional, and in many ways that lends to the new God of War. It's like he almost in many ways addresses that. But anyway, that's beside the point. The trailer here really had me amped. And it's one of my favorites, and I'm gonna just leave that at the bottom of the list because obviously it's a how do I say it's a guilty one, a guilty pleasure, if you will, because I have actually
That's totally free.
search this trailer randomly, like when my head remembers it, and I just play it.
Mm.
I just play it again and I play it loud. I'm like, man, I remember how fucking awesome that was hearing that shit. So yeah. So that's that's the first one I have there. I invite you guys to definitely check it out because it's obviously we have the new God of War, which makes the old God of War, it's not as good, but still for its time, yeah.
Listen, I'm glad you mentioned you're putting it in some sort of like cohesive order because I don't want to bring the obvious choices at front, but because I do also have a guilty pleasure of a trailer. This might not work for everyone. The reason it worked for me was because it was one of my strongest moments of probably all time. And it's still when this trailer was released, I believe this trailer was released in 2009.
Whoa, okay, we're going back. I love it.
Yeah, this trailer's it's completely CG. I'll give you that. So
That's fine.
It might take it away. It might not get props for having gameplay. Like the God of War at least had gameplay. This one has no gameplay. This was basically an announcement, and this announcement still have what I consider to be one of the best CGI trailers. Even though there's not a lot happening here, it's very simple. That is this trailer for StarCraft 2. The announcement.
Oh, right. So was it War Never Ends? No, not War Never Ends. What? It's about time.
It's about, yes. About time. Exactly. See, you're not even a StarCraft player, and you remember.
I know. Yeah, that says it all.
How iconic it is because it's memeable kind of at this point, but the trailer is just a simple thing. You're seeing a convict, coming out. And he is getting geared up basically by this robotic hands that are putting together his basically his gear, his armor. But what you don't know about it is that this armor it's meant to be his prison. This is actually his mobile prison because he is now recruited. He's now a soldier, and there's only one thing one thing that he's destined for him to do, to serve his whatever was however many years or whatever was his sentence, if he was sentenced for death or whatnot. He is wearing his cage basically, and the whole trailer is just the robotic hand putting everything together. To the music is one, it's what I say when the music is like coming up, like
swelling.
Like swelling. Yes, exactly. Then at one point you just see him standing and he is out, and they start showing you like different pieces of the not gameplay, but I guess that will be like the cinematics of the game in general, like little pieces of what it could be expected, and the closing, that famous closing of just him looking straight in the camera, being like, "Hell, it's about time." and his visor comes down, and it just sent fucking chills down my spine when I saw it the first time. I thought it was the most amazing thing, and I was about to cry because StarCraft, as you guys know, StarCraft is one of my favorite games of all time. So, but then StarCraft happened. I don't remember how long ago, and then it was years and years and years before before this got announced. When this got announced, which by the way, this got announced on a Korean like high end like Super Bowl level Brood War. Brood War was the campaign. There's the original StarCraft 1v1 thing that Korea was famous for hosting, and it still happens, by the way. But in one of those like events, the huge events that they had, that is when they announced that, and you can see the entire place like it was about to explode.
Light up.
And I felt at home, and I felt them home. Yeah, so this is, again, it's a guilty pleasure of mine, but also you have to, like, say what you will about Blizzard, but the old Blizzard, they had a super talent for this type of high-end CGIs that this trailer is years ago, and I still think is probably matched by very few. Just in the artistic aspect and the details and all that, but,
and the impact, know what you're getting. Yeah. So yes. Sometimes you don't need to. You don't always need to show gameplay when you know what you're getting.
Oh, that's good, because some of the best ones have not shown trailer, maybe for a reason.
But you have there's the obvious elephant in the room that I'm sure one of us is gonna bring up at some point, where it was excellent. Didn't show anything gameplay wise, but it was an excellent trailer. Really sold something that was not what it was in the end. But
that was Super Mario Bros. 3 with the movie The Wizard. Yes, there you go. The Wizard was an hour-long commercial
for it. Yeah.
That was the trailer.
My next one here is going to be a little more recent, and it's of a series that I in retrospect only played 2, this one and another one of this particular franchise, and this one here had to be, I think most people would agree, is probably the best one of this, at least recently, and that's Battlefield 1, sir.
Oh, snap.
Battlefield 1.
Really?
That's right there. Yes, that trailer that starts off doom, 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 and then it goes and it's like,
oh yeah,
bro. First off, obviously I love that song, that particular song anyway. But that playing with everything in the background when it comes to the battles of obviously World War One, and then making World War One just look like, I mean, it was serious for the record. It was a fucking World War. But I'm just saying, it making it look like, whoa, you could probably as a game really have some fun here. And man, do we have fun playing it, for the record. Again, that's what I was just saying. I bought that game, loved the vignettes that they had in the single player, and then on top of that, played actually the multiplayer a lot. It was you, me, I think Nelson joined at one point, Brett joined at another point, Raphael joined at another point. It's just like how often do we get together to play a multiplayer game like this? Well, yes. Battlefield 1 did that, and I would argue that the trailer had a lot to do with it, because I think I watched that trailer at least 10, 15 times. So I was just like, oh my God, I don't know how.
Trailer, though.
Yeah. Huh?
I don't remember that trailer. I'm going to have to pull it up.
Oh, I can't. Hold on. I can, I guess
it'll be
bad for you. It'll be bad for this particular thing, but yeah, it's the official reveal trailer. A Battlefield 1 official reveal trailer. It's not long. It's only like a minute and a half. And it's one of my favorites, bro. It's one of my favorites. It's actually more cinematic, right? It's not really showing gameplay. But looking at it, you just go, oh, I know this is not real gameplay, but it didn't matter. It was trying to sell you on the the feeling, the grittiness of this World War trench warfare. You know what I mean? Because that's what was huge in World War One, and and then again the music and everything behind it, and there's tank moments too. In the again, it's all CG, so but it is
it,
definitely you watch it, yeah. It is definitely it's a memorable one, and I love it. And again, I would argue that a lot of the reason why we got together on it was probably because of just the hype behind it. Um, and I think the hype started with this fucking launch trailer, bro. Oh no, a reveal trailer.
damn, that's yes. I'm looking at again. These trailers they need to be enjoyed with music. So once they get posted, you definitely check them out because like I'm imagining right now, and yes, it looks like
And
it
then
was
it's
legit, and
like
I
high.
can't believe that I missed it or that I
It's
don't
like
recall
no, you
it.
don't remember? Yeah, it's like high, like
Mm.
the music. It's seven Nation Army is the name of the song, and it but it's like a real like rock, but with a little bit of techno. As you can just hear it, it's just like, ooh, this is a really good version of the song. You know what I mean? So anyway, it's sold me, and I will never forget that one because that again that got me to buy Battlefield One. And I think I went after Battlefield 1 backwards to Battlefield 4. That's the second one, which I did not enjoy. But
Before.
Battlefield 1, bro, and I don't think anybody can argue. I'd say Battlefield 1 is probably the best Battlefield of the recent Battlefields. You know what I mean? Of it's
Battlefield,
probably the last good Battlefield game.
yeah, yeah,
Would I be off in saying that? I think I would say that would be the
I mean,
last good.
I personally like four, but that's because I like more the modern setting. But yeah, I agree
Well,
with that
well,
one.
four was before Battlefield 1.
Yes,
So yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
and
saying. That
weirdly
the
enough, yes,
Battlefield 1 will be the last good one that they've made.
and that's good one. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely,
So,
absolutely. The four what he had was a great beginning. Turn
oh
around.
right.
It's played that song, and you're like, wait, what the fuck? And it shows
Yeah.
Vice presents. It's like, what the fuck? Why is
I
that so
love shit
big?
like that, bro. I love shit like that.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love the guys were dying when the last song they were playing was this, and it's like, I don't want to die to this shitty song. It's so funny. It's so fucking good at the beginning. Too bad that was the only good thing about that. I mean, when it came out. Anyway, um, sir, my next one is also a personal favorite of mine. It is, I think sometimes I feel like Microsoft has better marketing than the actual games themselves. Sometimes when they come out.
You're probably right.
To be honest with you, but this one, I mean, this is an exception. This game is fucking phenomenal. Obviously when it came out, and I still love it. But I also fucking love what they did with the trailer, and it was a very simple trailer. It was very very simple. That was the trailer for Gears of War,
Mm,
the original
the
Gears of
OG,
War.
the first one.
The OG Gears of War, and here I drop it here. Um, that was a very very simplistic trailer. It was meant to do a couple things. Meant to show you the power of Unreal Engine, with graphics. Even though you saw no explosions, you saw no crazy things or anything like that. You just saw a destroyed city. Marcus Phoenix, like walking through a like a alley basically, and then you see him running because you hear like something's coming and he's hiding, but you still don't see any enemies. This whole thing is the city's destroyed. They called it a beautiful destruction because you could still see like how beautiful the graphics and everything were, even though it was very apocalyptic. Like you could tell that this is a war zone and shit got destroyed. And all of this is happening, as the song "Mad World" from Gary Jules is playing in the
Ooh,
background.
Mad World, nice.
And if you guys have heard the version of this version of the song, this is not the fast like house. Well, I don't know if it was house, but this is not the fast song. This is the very slow piano playing in the background. You know, looking kind of funny. I don't know. I don't know the lyrics. And I find it kind of funny. I kind of find it sad. The wish I'm dying are the best I ever had. And they keep going. It is very melancholic. Even though they're showing you this thing, and at the end, at the end, like he jumps into, because apparently he feels like something is following him, and he's running to the street. He jumps into this what appears to be like a building at first, but it must be a warehouse because it's very dark. And suddenly, like one of the giant spider monsters thing is up, like appears in the background, like very softly. And the last thing you see is him like firing at it, while the song goes, "Mad World," like very softly. It is. It juxtaposes it very, very nicely. And I think they did a fantastic job with presenting this. One of the best trailers they've had for the series.
Interesting. Okay.
Mad
It's a good one.
World. It's so good.
My next one, sir, should come as no surprise to anyone. If you know me well enough, that you know that anything made by this particular team, I want. And they haven't really, in essence, really made that many things, but everything they have done is like top notch. This is the premiere trailer. We're going back to 2010 here, August of 2010. Premiere trailer of BioShock Infinite. Yes, the sequel to BioShock. The reason why I don't even include BioShock, although I have seen trailers, it wasn't the trailer that got me into the thing. Like I had already played BioShock, and then I went back to look at the stuff and going, wow, that's so cool. And then, yeah, I am Andrew Ryan. And, I had all that, but there was very little to go on.
Yeah.
Having experienced BioShock, and probably BioShock 2 at this point as well, though I know that's not irrational, just saying. Just experiencing that world, watching the premiere trailer, and then you see Irrational Games come up before anything else, and I'm just like, there it is. And then it starts on the water. It starts in the water. You look at your sea. I'm like, oh, are we back? Is this more Rapture? Is it? And it turns out you're in a fish tank. And it pans out. And you remember this? It pans out, and then
one of my favorite trailers.
It pans out, and then you're obviously getting you're obviously in first person viewed, getting your face dunk into this particular fish tank, and then from there it slowly unveils the world, and I mean, again, you got to see the trailer to understand. It's just knowing what I'm looking at, knowing that this is an Irrational game, knowing that this is probably a follow-up, obviously because of the tank, a follow-up to BioShock, and then you're in this beautiful sky city. You're like, what is happening? What is going on? And so it was the perfect reveal. Yeah, it was a perfect reveal. Yeah, man, I remember it as if it was yesterday, although it was 12 years ago. And so it is. BioShock Infinite turned out to be one of my favorite games as well. And this started off. It's funny because shortly thereafter, I think they ended up showing a gameplay trailer of a segment that never even made it to the final game, which is really hilarious to me. Even the design of Elizabeth in this trailer turns out to be a very early model of Elizabeth, because it's not what she ended up looking like in the end. But yeah, man, BioShock Infinite, the premiere trailer, the first time it was ever revealed.
I'll take it. You know what? I'll take it. And as an homage, not only as an homage, but the fact that this game probably came out very around very similar, and of course we cannot not discuss it. Uh, Sir, the reveal, the cinematic trailer for Mass Effect 2 is
Oh,
three and a half,
yes.
3.5 hours. Oh, 3.5 hours, 3.5
3.5
minutes
hours. Oh,
of
2 minutes, yeah.
pure awesomeness. Everything that is showing you is just tailor made to hype you the fuck up. And I will argue that it wasn't even needed because that game was like highly expected already. But like just to see, and granted, there was a lot of CG that was not used in the game, or I don't recall seeing in the game. But it still did very well to set the stage, and I would say they capture what they were going for. In Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 2 is still one of the
Yeah.
most amazing RPGs put together.
One of the best. Yeah, one of the best Western RPGs. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
That's
This thing is
that's definitely a good
it's
one.
just
It's
it,
definitely a good one.
it doesn't
My
stop.
next, huh? Full stop.
No, I said I said this thing it like it doesn't stop. Like it just for 3.5
Oh,
minutes
yeah.
it's just constantly giving you like awesomeness.
Yeah. My next one here, sir, is my other love, The Witcher
Oh.
3. Obviously, cannot, one of my
course.
games of all time. Of course. But there is a cool cinematic trailer of Witcher 3: The Wild Hunt, killing monsters, fully cinematic. Obviously, it doesn't show you what gameplay is, but it does show you the tone. It looks and feel gritty, like a Game of Thrones, that type of dirty, whatever. And this one here, now it was you who even mentioned The Witcher to me, and he's like, when it was coming to console, you were like, dude, you got to get on this. I was like, all right, well, let me look into it. And I remember running into this trailer, and I was like, "Whoa, obviously the game doesn't look like this because this is like you look at this trailer, and this looks like Square Enix levels, like the what is that movie they made for Final Fantasy, the Kingsglaive? Like it looks like Kingsglaive level of CG, and I was like, "There's no way the game looks like that."
Oh, shit.
So I knew this was a cinematic, just a regular cinematic trailer, but. Holy shit, bro. It is beautiful. Beautiful game. Really, a beautiful trailer, excuse me. Really sells what the game is. And,
wow.
Well, the rest, as they say, is history, right? Yes. At that point, Witcher 3, became one of my favorite games of all time.
Pulled it off.
Yeah. So, yeah. It's literally the Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Killing Monsters cinematic trailer. That's what the name
is. So my next one is a trailer that I've always thought it's just epic. The definition of epic. This trailer is so good, and granted, they have managed to make other trailers that have been as equally amazing, I would say. But to me, this is the original one. This is the one that I would say probably got me so psyched about this game, even though like I don't play this game anymore. Pull up the trailer for Star Wars The Old Republic. Deceived is the name of the trailer. Deceived. Because there's many Star Wars The Old Republic. And this the thing that I love about this trailer was that
Deceived?
It's basically showing
Deceived?
Deceived, yeah. It's basically showing you what they call an event that happened in the Old Republic era, that's called The Sacking of Coruscant.
Mm.
And it's cool because it shows you an early Coruscant that is basically what you kind of imagine that an old Republic era Coruscant will look like. A little bit more Roman Empire and a little bit less freaking Fifth Avenue or whatever.
Okay.
It is that they show, right? Or Tokyo skyline or some shit like that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like this is still a little bit more old school, but is this Sith Lord coming into a Jedi temple and like just fucking shit up. And when you think things are bad already, like a whole army of Sith appears, and all you see is the lightsaber, the lightsabers coming up at the same time, a bunch of red lightsabers. This trailer looks very well. It is extremely well animated, and it has some awesome fights that kind of brings the excitement back on what Star Wars used to be, and kind of wish that we will get like more of this, in a sense, like, and I don't mean like in games only. I mean like in general, like the series and movies and stuff, and it doesn't seem like we get to see a lot of this anymore, or who knows? Maybe that could be arguable. Who knows? But this is a trailer where the good guys don't win, obviously.
Yeah.
This is, and the whole thing, the whole time, this Darth Lord is narrating basically. It's basically saying how the Jedi has been deceived, basically, and then you see the total like fucking chaos and destruction of this Jedi temple. It looks brutal. It looks powerful. You do want to play as that. Like, this is for Star Wars: The Old Republic. Star Wars: The Old Republic. I like the fact that it's not a great MMO, even though it's still alive, but it did allow you to pick up whatever type of character you want to play. If you want to play for the Empire or for whatever this version was, the Sith, you could. And even though it was an MMO, they did really well with tailoring probably some of the best single player story. Like, I've always heard from everybody saying like, dude, the storyline for if you pick an Empire spy, is that shit should be canon because it is phenomenal. Like, it will make a really exciting book. And I'm like, well, shit, damn, I should have actually played as that. But that Empire Spy doesn't have a lightsaber, so that's why it's like out. It's like, no, you should. It's still very fun. It's like, oh, I fucked up a little bit, I guess, but that's fine. They have other trailers, and their trailers are always like top notch. Like, if you want to enjoy like good Star Wars trailers, like maybe you don't care about the game, but you still want to see something like cool with lightsabers, or an interesting premise. A premise about twins, but one of them turned to the dark side or shit like that. It's like, yes, they deliver. This is EA, and I gotta give it to them. They fucking deliver, on those. But this trailer in particular was one of the first ones, and it's top of my list. And that's
nice.
That's my last one before the obvious one, but I want to leave the
elephant
to you because.
No, we're gonna do the elephant together because I have one last one here, and this is just really more of a personal.
Oh, okay.
I enjoy.
That's fine, because then I jump. Okay, yeah. Because I do have.
Then we could just reveal the elephant in the room for people who don't already know what the elephant is. But no, the last one I have is Control. It's particularly the Oldest House trailer. This trailer just. First off, God, I love Remedy, bro. I want to go back and play Control. And I've already played it, I think, twice to completion, and I don't know why I want to go back again. It's like it's just
Really?
I really realize
Yeah.
how much I
Sure.
love the world that they created.
And
Now,
yet you didn't stick to Alan Wake. What the fuck?
bro, Alan Wake, okay, like played very poorly. I'm sorry to say. Okay, I'm sorry to say.
This is
I know this
Remedy.
must be. Sorry, I guess we have to air this out, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to put a pin in Control for a moment and just say that Alan Wake, I get what it did, what it meant
Oh
to
my
folks, and I'm
god.
sure it was a good game for its time. I played the remastered remastered, right? It was a remaster, yeah, the
Yeah,
remastered.
yeah.
And there's just certain things that get highlighted when you suddenly bring bring that game and that gameplay element that feels dated and just didn't run exactly well. And then
It was
his
shitty.
running wasn't running very well because his run was just, I don't know what it was, but it wasn't a run, bro. I was
He's
like,
not a
shit, I can run
superhero.
faster than
He's
that.
just a regular dude.
Bro, I'm a regular dude that can run faster than that. I mean, and I
Yeah, but
haven't ran in forever, it just,
he's
don't get me
older,
wrong,
man.
the story was interesting. It was just the in between parts where I was like, oh my god, I got to get through this just to get to that story.
Yeah, well,
And
I
let's
mean,
be real, it's very repetitive, right? You go into an area, you clear everything out, you move in the
an
next area,
older
you clear everything
game,
out.
but come on, that's Control. Also, you might say.
It is. But at least with Control, I feel like the ambiance of the world, just the oldest house itself was like its own character, and that's why this trailer is great, because it really just gives you the
You're not wrong.
ambiance of how the trail the the oldest house looks, the
Yeah.
the different areas that you visit. And it's like, when you see this, you just go, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? And I'm already fascinated as to what Control was at that point. And then you see the people
Not
floating. You see
wrong. You're making me want to play Control
I do.
again.
It's just and this trailer, while it didn't even show gameplay, but it showed the areas, and they were gorgeous areas. So it's like, whoa, this is a beautiful looking game, but it's also strange and weird, and we don't know what's happening. And there's alien. We think it's an alien, but we don't know what it is. Um, it just really piqued the interest to the point where I was like, I need to play this game. I don't even know what it is, but I need to play this game because it's just out there. It's a reason why I'm like that with that game that I showed you the other day, the last time we recorded, which was what the hell is the name of it? Is the game with the Russian game where it's a first person shooter, but it's like
I don't remember the name,
something
but
art, or I forgot what his name. But
it
anyway,
was very, yeah.
but that's exactly the same feel. Exactly the same feel. You're like, I don't know what this is, but it looks amazing and freaky and scary at the same time. And so that's what this trailer did. And then again, it led me to Control, and Control is one of my favorite games. It didn't make my top 10, but it's definitely up there if I had a bigger list, you know what I mean, to provide. And so Control is definitely one of my joints, and that trailer just nailed it. It nailed the ambiance, and again, it also what I think is lost for that is that it presents the oldest house as a character. That's why they're showing it off, because the oldest house itself is its own character, and it shows, especially in that scene when you put the headset on and you start, oh my god, bro, I need to play Control again.
Yeah, we should, right? We
I feel like I should.
There's DLC that I haven't completed.
Game. The what?
Have you played the DLC?
I have played the DLC, and I want to say I know I'm positive I finished the first one. I'm not entirely sure if I finished the second one. I don't recall.
I think that's where the second one is the one that ties up better to Alan Wake, and I think I kind of
that's the one I left off at. I think,
but
I did do the first one. Yeah, I did the first one. Was it something that was like the Deep Rock or some shit? I don't remember. It was, but yeah. All right, guys. Well, I guess it's time to reveal the elephant in the room.
Uh, I have my last one. I
Oh, okay.
mean,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
my previous one
Unless
is
this
gonna
is your
be
last one.
yeah. Speaking of finishing the fight, there is so again bringing it to Microsoft have better marketing than or had. Maybe that's changed now with all the fucking studio they acquired. But let's be real. This is another one of those trailers that is just like it it's just it makes you excited without showing, even though it doesn't really show you anything. Somehow it manages to get you hyped up. Of course, if you're a fan. If you're not a fan, that's probably it's gonna fall flat because you're not gonna know.
Oh,
But
shit, yeah.
the trailer for Halo 3,
Mm.
specifically, they had a series, they had a whole series called Believe. So Halo 3 Believe. But I'm gonna say specifically, and they've done that with different Halo games and like to various degrees of success. Like I wasn't a fan of the last ones they did for Infinite. But this one's they still had it, and they did one in particular called Halo 3 Museum of Humanity is what it's called, and it
Oh,
is a very simplistic trailer. There's not much. It's literally supposed to be, and you can pull it up if you're curious, but there's not a high definition version of this, even though it says high def. It kind of looks very 480p, unfortunately. But it's a live action trailer. Not a lot is happening. It's just this older gentleman is this evidently a retired UNSC major called Powell Cernek, and he showed his active duty and everything. He's just visiting the Museum of Humanity, which is just looks like a futuristic complex on the inside. And he is looking at basically the creation, the a diorama that was created, evidently to commemorate the battle, the war against the Covenant that Master Chief ended up winning. Even though you haven't played the game yet, so you haven't finished the fight, but this is supposed to be like after, it's not only after, but years after, kind of like looking back at this epic fight. And by the way, there is also a trailer that is purely just this diorama from different aspects. But in this one in particular, I thought it was, at first I thought it was very silly because it's like, oh, come on, get out, you're so full of yourself, Microsoft, like, come on. But then I find this gentleman looking at this diorama, and his expression is what gets me a little bit. And at one point it even manages to get an emotion out of me, just because it's like what I imagine. Like, I mean, and I mean it in the most respectful way possible. It's what I imagine, like a veteran looking at, going into like one of the a museum that shows this, the things of like the Vietnam War or World
gotcha.
War,
Yeah. Okay.
and what that emotion, because you could see that he's looking at it, and even knowing the outcome, obviously the humanity won, but at what cost, and therefore they have like a whole museum dedicated to just humanity. You see him in his face, like like I imagine he's thinking of the comrades that he loves, the soldiers that he loved, his friends. That's gotta be. I'm not a veteran. I never participated in any wars, but I have friends that have, and that obviously that is a very heavy thing to have to live through your entire life. Basically, you never forget that. You never forget that aspect of the atrocities of war, and things like that. So when you look at this trailer and you see in the very little bit, just 1 minute, and just the way he walks towards it, like you could tell that he's probably like injured. Then he's looking at the pictures, and you see in his eyes like that reflection of probably thinking of the people he lost, and it gets to me every time you see it. It gets to me. At the end, it fades out, and it just shows believe, and like I've seen that part already because that was the closing basically of all of these trailers. But this one in particular, like made a larger impact that it probably intended to do with me, because there's a beauty on it, and there's a sadness there that it's for a split second you almost imagine this world being real, and before you're taken back into reality, he's thinking like, "Oh, wait a minute, this is about a game." This is really, like, what the fuck?
Oh, wait a minute.
What have tears? Why are you like feeling so sad? It's like, but that's good marketing,
Yeah.
In 1 minute 9 seconds, it shows all that. I love this trailer. I have delivered like between this one and the elephant in the room. I've honestly been like back and forth sometimes. Like I think, oh, this is actually my favorite trailer, or this is. But obviously, there is the one trailer that I think everybody so far has agreed. It's been the one.
It was an amazing thing, and let's just throw it out there: the elephant in the room, Dead Island trailer.
The original Dead Island.
The original Dead Island, yeah. Dead Island 2 trailer was actually kind of cool too, but nowhere near the levels of the first one.
It was cool in the sense that they realized they super mega fucked up with this trailer, because this trailer, this original trailer, it was nothing what the game ended up
being.
Yeah,
what the game ended up being was nowhere near as impactful as the trailer was. No, but exactly. The trailer is completely CG and cinematic, and it has one whole scene divided, one part of it towards the middle, running running forward, and then another part towards the end running backwards in time, and then it's interlaced with each other. It is the craziest way of presenting a trailer, but then it meets at the two scenes meet at the middle. One that's kind of running through normally, and then one that's kind of backing up, and it is, it's a zombie game. So you have an attack on a family, a husband, a wife, and a daughter, dealing with an attack, a brutal attack too. On top of that, I mean, this is no holds barred brutal attack. This is early Walking Dead brutal shit. You know what I mean? And then the music really, really sells just the devastation that's happening on screen. It's just like, I have seen this trailer many a times, and again, randomly, like I'll bring it up, like, man, let me check that shit again. Just because it comes to mind, and I'm like, oh, let me bring it up. And then you just watch and you just go, my God, did they nail this trailer? This is easily the best video game trailer, period. Yeah. Again, what the final product was not what you were getting out of that trailer.
Fair, a decent. Well, I think it got like 6 or 7.
It was pretty mediocre. But and not only just that, it just nothing in there had any inkling that it would have that level of, just
impact and emotion.
Yeah, emotional impact. Yeah, yes. And so, yeah, I mean, it was, but the trailer. I mean, this is an example. It's crazy. An example because you got to mention it's one of the best, but it's also one of the worst because it was selling you on something that wasn't there.
That will say. I mean, and to be fair, some of the trailers here that we have mentioned, we kind of focus on that. Oh, it's a trailer for the big thing that everybody loved, and that was not intentional, honestly. This is a perfect example of a trailer that just does not meet meet the expectations. First, this trailer, it's probably one of the most emotionally impactful trailers that I've seen, and in the sense that yes, it is a zombie attack. It is a family that is it's meaning to have to enjoy a great vacation on like a beach area or whatever. They're basically they were checking in basically into their hotel room before this happened, and the way that it's played out, just like you described, it's kind of like the way I remember it. I remember it playing almost in reverse, because the first thing you see is kind of like a picture, like I think it's the picture of that child on the floor.
Yeah.
And you
It
don't
opens
know
up
what
with her,
happened.
yeah.
You don't know what you don't. It's just see a child on the floor, but suddenly the thing starts rewinding back, and you see that, oh shit, this is not a child that was like laying on the on the floor. She was on the pavement because she fell down from like however many stories high it was of this balcony. Oh shit, it was not that she fell down, it was just, she jumped herself because she was crazed up, because she was actually I guess she was
Zombie.
having the effect of being
Yeah.
beaten by a zombie, and everything. It goes back from like the effect all the way to the cause, all the way going back at the rhythm of this, the cadence of this like very soft, melancholic to no end. I think it was a piano, if I recall correctly. I could be wrong, but it was like the saddest melody you could possibly muster for seeing these events happening, and you're just like you're in shock basically
Mhm.
when you see where you're seeing that.
And they showed it off on an E3, if I remember correctly, and it was like, whoa!
It was a moment, because it was what you saw there. That was not something that you would clap for, like, oh my god, I can't wait. What you saw there was something that you would clap because you were choked up, because you were like, bravo, like it's vindicating, almost like it's wanting to vindicate our whole industry in the way it just beautifully present this. And then the end of the trailer is just the family arriving and playing forward this time, and just having this good time and taking pictures and enjoying, and you realize that, holy shit, these were people, even though the whole thing is CGI, so they're not real people, guys.
Yeah, but it's very good CGI on top of that, so that also helps.
Yeah, it emotes that it you relate with that family basically. It's like you see, the family arriving, planning on having a memorable vacation, but not like this.
Yeah,
Not
like
this.
Not like this.
Dude, it was.
It's pretty. It's top notch. Yeah, it's just top notch.
And the music is phenomenal for it. It's like the
well chosen.
It was well chosen.
Yeah.
It was an original composition for the trailer. I understand. Yeah. Too bad the game was nothing like that. It was.
Yeah.
Like if I were the developers, I should have actually just put the brakes on it. Be like, let's just spend a few more years onto making it that. Because if this was that, this would have been Last of Us. This would have been that real Last
it could have been. Absolutely, it could have been.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's just not what they had in mind. They came up with a perfect scheme to impress, and they did, because it was legendary.
I think they realized it. Like they must have been afraid of, oh shit, this is too good.
This is too good. I think we oversold something here.
We don't have it. We don't have this is not what we have. This is the reason why I think on the second Dead Island, they just came out just straight. Even though that game's fucking not released yet for some reason, or maybe like I don't remember, and who cares? But they just went for the zany, silly thing of the guy that's having one last run because he knows it's about to turn into a zombie. So that's the way he decides to ends his, to finish his life. Basically, it's like fucking whatever.
Yeah. It's
I mean,
insane.
people liked it. I was okay with it. Sir, I think we need to give honorable mention to one of the recent best trailers ever. We cannot forget, and that is the trailer for Outer Worlds 2.
Ah, yes, Outer Worlds 2. We do have to give respect to that one. That's an excellent trailer. Yeah, that's an excellent trailer. It is literally it is literally a joke of itself.
Of
because
itself,
they have
yes.
absolutely nothing to show, but they wanted to
But in
announce
the best
it.
way possible.
I know. Yeah, it's like, how do you announce something you don't even have yet, and make it memorable so they don't forget? This is how you do it. Yeah, the Outer Worlds 2 trailer had us in tears, bro. We were this was last year, right? Was it last year? I think last E3 or whatever the hell they had last
2021. Yeah.
year. And oh my god, yeah, that one's definitely legendary. And I haven't seen that one again because it was more comedic than anything else. And it's like, yeah,
I will help you. I'll post it now. But all I'm gonna say is that, haha, fool you guys. This is actually the best trailer. Sorry, but it's determined that this is the best trailer.
Hey,
that's a trailer
fine.
that makes fun of video game trailers.
Of video game trailers. Yes.
How meta is that?
Yeah. You know what? You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Yeah. When you look at it that way, it's like, yeah, they're making fun of everything and making fun of games that do this, that don't really have much to show.
An island, or fucking Assassin's Creed games are, yeah.
Oh my god, Assassin's Creed games are basically this. Yeah,
some really good trailers also, but I didn't care to mention them because it was,
yeah,
the trick was too much.
Exactly.
Yes.
Awesome stuff. Well, there you go. Those are our favorite trailers, game trailers of all time. I guess we can also throw that in there. As always, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, please go to goodgame.rocks, join the conversation there, and like, subscribe, share the podcast with everyone. This is Mad Dog signing off this week with a quick aside. Sir, I know you don't follow football, so this is probably just going to go over your head, but Dallas Cowboys suffered several lost players this last week. We are only coming into week 2. Week 2 of a long season. Of a 17-week season.
Ooh.
And it is possible that our season is done. Just after one game, sir. That's how bad shit has gotten for the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know what it gives a shit. Yeah. I need to mention that because I'm a little sad about it.
It hurts.
It's a little, it hurts. It really does hurt. I mean, now I have just nothing but my fantasy football team to really look forward to because my Dallas Cowboy team is probably going to be, and this is not even a joke, last place in our division. I mean, we lost our starting quarterback. We weren't looking good even when he was in there because we lost some players. We lost our left tackle, which will protect him and usually changes the game. And it's bro.
Ooh.
And then we only scored 3 points. We're the only team in week 1 that did not score a touchdown. That says it all. 3 points. That's all we got.
It was not the best. Ooh.
So it's going to be a long ass fucking season. Is all I have to say, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Dream Twister, take us home.
All right. Well, I don't know how to top that. So let me put it in ways that you can understand. Imagine if all of a sudden the Dallas Cowboys told the NFL, fuck you and your disrespect. We are out of the NFL. We are not playing for the NFL anymore. And now you understand what happened with EVGA.
I mean, yeah, I guess that makes sense. I mean, Dallas Cowboys are also a business. You know what I mean? So it's not like they can't have something going on after leaving the NFL.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
mean,
So
as anywhere
you
as
see,
successful, but yeah.
now you understand what's happening. You know how the news of the EVGA getting out of the video car business impacts us
Well done.
all.
Well done. That's circle of life. Well done, sir. I like it. All right. Well, that sucks for them then. considering what's going on. Yeah. All right.
That's it.
That's it. All right, guys. Well, with that, we'll see you next week. GG!